So, hello everyone, for everyone just coming in, welcome to my stream series now of Spyro the Dragon, the Reignite version. So, I know that I reviewed the, the 3 games not too long ago, for the collection, because this was given to me by Activision, but I've never really beaten any of the Spyro the Dragon games. So, I kind of want to start actually beating them 100% at this point. So I'm gonna do Spyro 1 for right now. We'll get to the other 2 eventually. But yeah, I've started up a new file for this, so it's back to square one and all of that. Anyway, let's get to it.
Hello, Pat.
Oh, is that Trevi Bear did I hear?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, it's very nice.
I would have been on a little bit sooner. Discord's giving me a lot.
Yeah, Discord seems to be kind of acting up. A lot of things seem to be acting up right now, honestly. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's just a holiday or I don't know.
It's probably an off day, I
Yeah.
imagine, because my phone's been acting up a little bit too.
Yeah.
Okay, rolling.
Now I gotta try to get
It's been peaceful here in the Five Worlds.
so I can actually see what's going on.
Yeah, I did make the stream change from quality might be lowered a little bit, but it will now get to you guys way quicker. So it's like I think only 2 seconds behind. I think only 3 seconds behind or something like that now. So
Oh, nice.
pretty quick in terms of anything that happens or stuff like that. So how's your day going, Trevi?
It's going good. It's going really, really good. You know, had breakfast with my mom because I couldn't find another Valentine's Day date. But other than that, it's been going really good.
Alright, well, I just got back from treating myself to dinner because, you know, single for life. But I actually got a story about that, real quick. It's a little bit of a Faith in Humanity kind of thing. So, I was basically just kind of getting, pub grub from my local area kind of thing. And, it's just like a $10 burger or stuff like that. So, now I had the burger. It was good. And then I was just asking the waitress, like whenever you have time, hand me the bill. The thing is, I was the only only person kind of like alone during that because everyone else was either with family or with their significant other or stuff like that. So apparently, this elderly man. Oh my gosh! Thank you for the 300-bit drop. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I was the only person alone, and apparently the elderly man with his grandchild, by him that was, the table next to me, without me knowing, apparently paid my bill, way before, yeah, and it was, way after they left that I figured it out. I kind of wish I figured out who they were beforehand, but, yeah, just a little faith in humanity thing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Hey.
Man, I really want to get this game.
Yeah.
I just want to get the Reignited trilogy because I've heard so many good things about Spyro, but I've just never had the money to invest into it.
Yeah. I mean, I mostly when I got because I originally got Crash Insane on PS4, and then I got the Switch code to review for that, and that pretty much put me in good hands to get a review code for this. So I was able to take advantage of that.
There we go.
Oh my goodness, is that Jason?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Jason!
Hey, you.
I'm sorry. We'll talk about this later.
What?
I remember Tuesday.
Oh, okay, I got ya.
I gave you a chance, and that's how you repay me.
I think I'll see myself out now before Jason strangles me.
How's it going, Jason?
It's going good. I had a good day today. I spent the day with my father. We saw Alita Battle Angel and got dinner.
Alright, how'd that go? Because I've been seeing the YouTube ads all over for that.
It's a good movie. It's easily the best. American adaptation of a manga / anime that we've had.
Alright.
Specifically, I say American adaptations, which we look at everything else we had. Isn't really that high of a bar.
Yeah.
Isn't really that high of a bar to beat, but granted, but still good movie.
The artisan's boss is through a portal.
And I can say this without spoiling it. One of the things I like about it as an adaptation is the fact that instead of trying to adapt the whole thing in like 2 hours, they only adapted a portion of it for sequels. So because it looks like they definitely want to make a sequel, and I am all for a sequel for this movie.
Alright, nice.
So good movie, go watch it.
Yeah.
Spyro.
Yeah.
The Spyro 1.
Yeah. We're only going to be playing Spyro 1 for right now. We'll probably hop back to it later. I'm basically just, aka, I'm just killing time until Talking Robot comes out because we kind of have to do that.
I see. Why are you laughing? Who said you can laugh?
Oh god, sorry, Jason, sir.
By the way, Trevi, could you up your mic a little bit? You're coming in a little soft.
No, he knows his place.
Alright, give me a second, I'll
Yeah, Savannah, how's the level 1 run been going? Because I know you said the problem with level 1 is that it's just kind of tedious in KH3 rather than hard.
Just about to enter the final board of KH3 by level 1 playthrough. Oh, okay.
The one called the final world, or
Okay, how's that?
He said you can hop in the call to talk about that.
Alright, and Trevi much better.
Alright.
You made $59? I just looked down at the bar.
$59, $59. But yeah, since I'm seeing people kind of the regulars kind of start to come in at this point. As I announced earlier, we have the VOD channel now properly up at this point, so all streams will now be uploaded to there instead of the main channel. I got KH1 up right now. Most of KH2 is up. I'm getting the rest up later. Then Birth by Sleep, and then I'll get Hat in Time and all that kind of stuff up there.
What about Tuesday's stream?
That will probably be a separate stream I put up as well, because I'm also putting up Plant Launch Night as well.
That's all good.
Hey, Stefan!
Hey!
Hello? Hey, Stefan.
Evening.
So, how is the level 1 going with that final world? Is it worth doing?
To a point?
Explain, please.
So as you can imagine, the game gets exponentially harder as the game goes on because things have larger health bars and they have higher damage outputs. So you get situations like the final boss of Arendelle having a move that can essentially one-shot you.
Oof.
So you gotta respect the movesets, and sometimes you just don't care to do that. So I think Arendelle currently has my highest death counter right now with that single boss.
Yeesh.
The second, I wouldn't call it a mid boss, but the earlier boss was
is Arendelle frozen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just kind of a situation of you really need to respect the movesets, but because of how long the fights will take, because of how low your damage output is, you have a lot of room for mistakes.
Alright.
Surprisingly, the double A fight was actually one that only took me one attempt, but
Really?
Yeah, I think it's mostly because that fight doesn't punish you as hard as some other ones. Like, the damage output isn't so insane by comparison to like the Arendelle final.
Yeah.
Like, I'd still used all my items, and I was usually in a bad state, but it was always a situation of like, oh, I've figured out the pattern. It's easy to take advantage of it. Certainly helps that it's not a giant enemy, because then you have much more room to mistake. Davy Jones actually wasn't He took me a couple tries, but that's mostly because his area is busy. His actual moves are not that bad.
Okay.
So, KH3. After thinking about it, I actually kind of don't like how the game gives you so much AP.
Yeah, dude, like...
All the stats are really high in this game.
Oh yeah, like, I was, like, sitting with, like, 30 AP, like, left for nothing to use it on for most of the game, because Sora stopped learning abilities pretty early, honestly.
Oh yeah.
I'm at max level. I have over 200 AP with... And I pretty, which generally means in this game that pretty much you can have everything you want turned on.
Yeah. Like,
which,
I just basically turned on every ability, and I still had, like, well over, like, 16 left to use on stuff.
Well, because, like, in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, the idea was, like, the basic idea was you can't really have everything turned on.
Yeah, until, like, endgame or something like that.
When you have a bunch of AP boosts and the like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the point where I kind of forgot that I had AP boosts to use, honestly.
Oh, I've been treasuring those in the level 1 run, I'll tell you that. Like, I've had to, like, min-max some characters just so certain abilities are on, like keeping Donald and Goofy alive just long enough to be able to use their team attacks. It's like, yeah, I'll sacrifice Harvest for the sake of making sure Goofy takes an extra hit.
Yeah. But, yeah, for the other announcements that I had is that, even though the Sonic Genesis goal is the one that's currently being shown just because we're close to that one being done, at this point, the new sub-goal is going to be for Fire Emblem Three Houses, since we have a July release date confirmed at this point. That will be the new sub-goal game. However, I'm going to make you guys work for it. The goal is substantially higher than the Danganronpa one.
You're very ambitious for this.
Yeah. Well, you guys have 6 months to make this one happen. That one's 100 subs for that. I mean, granted, the number does count for each month you guys sub counts as a different sub kind of thing, but yeah, that's 6 months to get that, so best of luck.
I'm pretty sure we can do it.
I'm back.
Anything's possible.
So anything's possible for possible?
Also, I will say that because I was skipping cutscenes because I really didn't need to watch them for the sake of the playthrough, I totally forgot that I could go to Winnie the Pooh's world.
Yeah. It's
So
such
yeah,
an afterthought in this game, man.
Yeah, it's absolutely the biggest disappointment out of a lot of disappointments, and a lot of that was just mostly pacing issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like looking at it, I'm just like, I think I'm missing a Keyblade.
Yeah. I was like,
Oh yeah, that's why. I skipped that cutscene because I was kind of like it's really funny because I feel like almost like a speedrunner in the sense that I like look at random encounters. I'm like, is this actually worth it? Because like most of my money spent has just been buying a whole bunch of potions to constantly have feed into battle encounters. So it's just like, yeah, no, there's not much to get here. I can synthesize some cool stuff, but I'm not getting Ultima weapon this playthrough because that's a lot of extra work. So,
speaking of which, Stefan, max level Ultima weapon on the final boss, I was like, oh, he was asking for mercy. He was like, I heard you a Keyblade master.
Level 40 with the Ultima weapon, and that final battle's a joke. Ultima weapon is too good in this game.
Like, honestly,
you wanna know how good it is? You wanna know how good it is?
I don't need to wonder, I know.
Yeah.
I refuse to use the shock lock.
Oh yeah, the shot luck is just free. It's not even fair.
I refuse to use it because I only used it for the level grinding spot in the world of Frozen. But once I was done grinding, I was like, I'm never touching this again. This is too unfair. I like to play the game.
Like, why do we
hit my enemy.
why do we need the X-Blade, to be forged when this thing exists?
Yeah. If the final boss was using the goddamn Ultima weapon, I'd probably be actually afraid.
Yeah.
Or if the Keyblade was actually using the Ultimate Weapon's level of moveset, then I'd be actually really afraid.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to complain about how strong the Ultimate Weapon is, but that's the point.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like, what? You don't even need it in this game, I think is also kind of the problem.
Well, that's also due to the fact that Kingdom Hearts 3's in-game content is lackluster. And you can also kind of say the same thing about Vanilla KH2. It's just the fact that nowadays... It's just the fact that... It's just the fact that nowadays we have Final Mix, so going from Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, where we have like a lot of in-game content by this point, to Kingdom Hearts 3, where we have very minimum in-game content, where you can go for the Ultimate Weapon, you can do the secret boss, you can get all like the notes or whatever, but that's.
I still need to read
really
those reports.
Yeah, reports. Thank you. Yeah, but that's really it. Post game, there's only one boss.
And also of that, you had Coliseums in KH1 and 2 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kingdom Hearts 3 really needs some in-game content really badly in the form of DLC.
Yeah.
I think like the developers were really focused on making the combat like the best in the series. That they
definitely wanted to merge as much as they could without it being overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I say they did that, but you just have so many options that it's overwhelming for your opponents.
Yeah. Like, you know, I think that, like, personally, I think that they took a lot of time, like, developing into that they kind of forgot, oh, wait, you know, we have other stuff that we need to do for this game.
I guess my problem is just, like, I feel like this battle system is really good, but I don't feel like I can really put it to, like, its kind of limit, because, like, you basically just have to breathe on stuff and they die in this game.
Yeah, and that's what level 1's for. Like, you figure out the mechanics and you know how to abuse it. Mirage Staff has been great.
Oh, yeah.
High Wind has been amazing.
Oh, yeah, like, I quickly learned how, like, after my first playthrough of, like, wow, High Wind's really good.
Like, my first my first playthrough, I had the mindset of, like, make sure all my weapons have a different transformation state, and that's all I'm aiming for.
Yeah.
This one, now that I'm doing level 1, it's actually, I need a magic one, I need a physical one, and I need a balanced one. Because I need to know what I'm doing when I'm not, whether or not I have MP or not.
Yeah.
And usually I don't even use the Kingdom Key, I use my pre-order Keyblade because it's just the Kingdom Key but better.
Yeah, so just top 3 Keyblades overall in Kingdom Hearts 3 in general is just Ultimate Weapon. Well,
Ultimate Weapon is free, that's like a power gap.
Yeah. Then without including that, personally for me it's Happy Gears, Mirage Staff, and High Wind.
Yep, I'd agree with that.
It was probably High Wind, Mirage Staff was, which one? Was that the...
Tangled.
Okay, I thought that was Happily Ever After.
That is heavily after. Mirage Staff is a
it's the transformation, yeah.
Yeah,
People just remember the transformation because it's so good.
Yeah, High Wind, that, and Kingdom Key were probably my 3 favorites.
Yeah, Kingdom Key is definitely not bad, but there's just so many options in this damn game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also quite liked Favorite Deputy for the time I used it until I got High Wind.
I think my problem was it was a little too
physical.
Slow. I think was my.
Well, it does emphasize that, but it definitely leaves you pretty free.
I think that the Keyblade you get from Big Hero 6 had a lot of potential.
That one's really good.
Yeah, I like the Keyblade, but the thing is, I don't think its finishers is that great.
Yeah.
I don't think I used it long enough to see the finishers. Because at that point I was kind of committed to what I was using. Even now, like, I farm out the materials to get my 3 or 4 up to snuff so I could deal a little bit more damage. Funny enough, the aerial battle in Pirates, I actually failed that the first time because my DPS wasn't good enough. That's depressing, I'll tell you that.
I think that was probably one of my more favorite fights in the game, honestly.
It becomes less favorite when you're chipping away at it, literally.
But
Again, like, a lot of these encounters just become less enjoyable just because of how much longer it overstays its welcome, and you really see how actually relatively limited a lot of boss movesets are.
See ya.
Like the Arendelle boss. Like I can think of. I think his first phase, he has like 3 moves. No, he has 4 moves. And then after he does his anime moment, he gets a new one. But it's just like, yeah, you're gonna be seeing them a lot. Learn them.
I still really like the anime moment in Toy Box.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That boss actually wasn't that bad because I used the Hero's Mark Keyblade, and that counter shield is great.
Speaking of Toy Story, I think I saw the greatest Valentine's Day card today.
Go on.
It's Woody. My guess is no one's ever loved you before. So good.
I love how I love that scene.
So good.
Woody suddenly becomes a savage. So good.
By the way, Jason, there's like a lot of talking coming from your end.
Oh yeah, my bad.
But yeah, suffice to say, when I actually touch down in boss fight land, some of those fights are going to be significantly longer than they were with either the Ultima Weapon or the Kingdom Key.
Well, that might actually help in that case because, like, God, those fights are way too short.
I only know one fight that's going to be free. Because one character on your party is literally invincible.
Yeah.
They've actually proved it. He takes no damage, so it's just like, God, he's back with vengeance, and he's pissed.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can't blame him because.
Yeah. Link's Awakening HD Squad, where are you at? Me! I cannot wait!
Someone I follow on Twitter actually.
Talking about the direct. Good direct!
Yeah, it was pretty middle of the road, but I definitely liked a lot of stuff that I saw.
It showed me enough that I wanted to see.
I do kind of agree with some other people. I think there maybe was a little few too many JRPGs that they were showing. Because when you actually combine how much JRPGs are in there, it's quite a bit of the direct.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand for Three Houses and stuff like that, because that was a big focus.
That wasn't even that big of a.
It wasn't a Xenoblade segment like a few directs ago. I forget which one, but it was like I remember just going like, this is taking way too long. The Xenoblade part.
Like based on the Japanese tweet about announcing the direct and mentioning Fire Emblem, it made it sound like Fire Emblem would like dominate the direct like a Smash direct, which I'm kind of happy it wasn't because I feel like I'm happy with a limited knowledge of what's coming out.
Yeah.
By the way, Patrick, you got your wish. We got to see the Joker model.
I guess I'll take his back. His glorious, glorious back.
But guys, we're forgetting the most important thing. Mario Maker 2, baby!
Yay, Slopes!
Oh, we got Slopes! We got Slopes! We got pipes!
Man.
We have 3D! Woo, baby!
I feel bad for Aaron Hansen, but I don't feel bad for Ross because he's gonna have a blast.
I saw that tweet. I love that tweet.
Ross was like, if Mario Maker gets announced, Aaron agreed to let me just work on levels for an entire month.
Yeah.
As official work. Well, guess what? He has a lot to work with now.
Yeah.
Talking about, I guess, the stuff that the thing I liked the most out of this direct was actually was Fire Emblem Three Houses.
I think I need to rewatch the segment again after the direct.
I definitely want to review
Well,
it.
again, personally for me, when it comes to Fire Emblem games, I just have a way more affinity to play. For me, I just have way more personal affinity with a character who actually isn't a part of royalty anyway.
Yeah.
Which going off that mindset, it's the reason why I really want to give Ike's games another shot, because unless, correct me if I'm wrong, he's like the only other Fire Emblem main character who isn't royalty, right?
I think.
I couldn't tell you.
Yes, he is the only one who's not born of royalty.
Yeah. So just be to the. By the way, you're a mercenary. Oh wait, I'm not rich. I don't have any political power. I'm just a random scrub off the street who's suddenly a teacher. Oh yeah, so yeah, I'll take that. Oh look, it's not Hogwarts. Oh no, wait, more accurate. it's not Hogwarts combined with not Pokemon Let's Go. Okay, so alright, so it's gonna be the red faction versus the blue faction while the yellow faction is over here memeing up a storm. I got you.
Well, no.
Hashtag Team Instinct.
But here's the problem, because it's the Blue Lions. If the Detroit Lions have taught me anything, is that they're never gonna win anything.
Listen, hashtag Team Instinct for life, yo.
But
I legitimately forget which one is Instinct.
Zapdos.
Okay. Hey man, at least House Instinct has a really good looking leader.
No, I love that people have just compared. It just looks like the gender bend version of Esmeralda from Hunchback of Notre Dame. That's just like.
Oh wow, dude, you're not even wrong. I know you're referencing other people's stuff, but they're not wrong.
Like, it looks so close.
Okay, so Brody, Astro Chain, right? Before I figured out what Platinum Games, I felt like 40 seconds. I was like, is this a sequel to Xenoblade Chronicles X?
I was totally thinking like it was some Monolith project.
I was looking at how it was going. I was like, I feel like this is a Platinum game. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw that Platinum star, and then it showed up later. I was like, yep.
But it looked like a Monolith game.
Yeah, just in terms of the character design and stuff like that, it looks very Monolith.
I was mostly looking at the gameplay. I'm looking at it, just like, this looks like character action, so it's probably Platinum. I wouldn't be surprised, and guess what? I wasn't surprised.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Bayonetta 3's coming. Bayonetta 3's
hey man, take all the time they need.
Oh, that was somewhat of a dirty tease, but you know, whatever. We'll probably see it by E3, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think E3 is where they're gonna. That's where they're gonna go nuts with like Luigi's Mansion 3, Animal Crossing, and Bayonetta 3.
Yeah, I can see Animal Crossing getting a nice.
I do
section.
agree with Game Explain. I think we're probably going to get one more directed like in April.
Yeah, I'm thinking that. So I love the whole thing that's going around of like with the, you know, everyone always
I was distracted.
Oh,
Sorry.
Hi, Alex. But
Hello.
yeah, usually of like. I love how, you know, mostly everyone keeps ragging on the Smash community that, like, we're only there for Smash and stuff like that, overhyping for character announcements. Meanwhile, if there's no Animal Crossing, my goodness.
Did you guys see that one image of Tom Nook that was running around? It was just Tom Nook looking at the screen and there's text below saying, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Sweet.
I saw that. I was like, immediately on my phone.
I think someone's breathing into their microphone.
Yeah, I think that might be Alex.
Huh? I'm not doing anything.
You're breathing. That's kind of the problem.
I'm literally not even breathing. Like my breath.
I'm actually dying. Please help.
You're breathing. You're alive.
No, I was saying like at that moment that he said I was breathing, I was not. I hadn't even taken a breath.
You're breathing. Stop living, Alex.
Stop.
Just cut
Hang
out.
Stop it. Get some help.
Get
My
some
mic
help.
might have freaked out a little bit from me turning it on after I already joined the call.
Okay.
So maybe it's better now.
Yeah.
But remake of Link's Awakening.
Love it. Want it.
I'm excited. I can't wait. Like, I'm a big Zelda guy, and I can't wait.
And that's
I was
why.
pretty hyped for it on reaction, but I actually don't know because I haven't really played that many Zelda games in all honesty.
Link's Awakening
It looks
is.
cute,
I
though, so.
felt like Link's Awakening was one of the Zeldas that needed the remake the most, so I'm really happy it's getting one.
There you go, guys. The image is in the chat.
Oh, it's the Tom Nook. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
But
love this.
I follow enough Animal Crossing fans to have that followed around in Twitter.
Yeah.
So, guys, don't know about you, but can we talk about Tetris Battle Royale?
Oh yeah, baby!
I mean, the only thing that I have to talk about is Fire Emblem. That's the only thing I care about.
Just give me 3.0 Smash and Mario Maker 2, baby, and Link's Awakening. But other than that,
Fire Emblem.
I do find it interesting with this Fire Emblem. It seems to be a lot more kind of carefree than the past few Fire Emblems.
Oh,
Well, we're not jumping right into war. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
You want to know
Which
what
is
I found
like,
out?
I think again, like I think I mentioned this before. Like I think it's only in a new mystery where you don't start in the middle of the starts of a war.
Yeah.
But
Because
also,
new mystery has you starting out of like I'm gonna join Marth's army because they saved the world before, and that was pretty cool, I guess.
That was a cool thing.
Well, again, when it comes to the story of Fire Emblem, they're always like pretty much like boring and.
Oh yeah, they're pretty standard.
Yeah, like they're boring and like bland. So.
Fire Emblem relies a lot more on its characters and their specific settings than anything else.
Yeah, but I noticed that at least but they didn't break. There was no talk of because there was like there was like pretty much no talk of romance, which is a staple of Fire Emblem by this point.
No, it's not. Supports are.
Well, you
So
still know what I mean.
I've heard a lot of people like say this about Fire Emblem Fates. Is it true that that game is just an incest simulator?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's too many opportunities.
Anyway, has anybody been seeing all the jokes that have been around because of the fact that there's 3 factions and
Yes.
they've been doing the stuff with like the Pokemon Go?
Seriously,
I think my favorite one was Yu-Gi-Oh! GX for the comparisons.
Listen, I saw that picture. I was like, listen, when you put it like that, I had to side with Jaden, my main man over here.
So you're
Mr.
saying-
Fashion Misawa, I love you, but after season 2, you got dropped hard like a rock, and they didn't know what to do with you. And Alexis has always just been there.
Okay.
yeah, she has always been just there. That was her problem.
Yeah, I
She
know.
didn't do anything.
Yeah, I talked about this a lot with Alex.
Yeah.
Also,
Speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh, I've actually been watching the newest one, Brains.
How's that one going?
I have a feeling I'm gonna have the same opinion Jason has. The beginning actually starts off really nice, but I've heard that it gets worse as it goes along.
yeah.
Because I'm on about episode 17 right now, and I'm actually enjoying it. But again, Jason said season 2 especially really tanks it.
I think I've heard similar things about 5Ds.
I wouldn't know because I've never watched the entirety of 5Ds. I used to
I'm
to
in the
really
middle
like
of
it.
like I think the final arc of the first season.
Because I really like the beginning of 5Ds. It's actually my favorite out of
Oh
the
yeah, 5D,
series.
especially in Japanese. Like, I'm not gonna be the one to always preach that stuff, but especially seeing some of the differences from what I'd seen in the dub back in the day.
Okay, so when we were watching, hang on. When we were watching Brains, we were watching it sub to begin with, but we decided to check out some of the dub because it was out.
And curious.
Yeah, and Jason ended up dropping it just because of one joke that they made.
In episode 1, there's a character of Reigns who helps out the main, who helps out the main guy. They're both hackers, but the way he makes some money on the side is the fact that he's a hot dog vendor. So in episode 1, they were just chatting, and he just brings it like out of nowhere. He's just talking about you wanna know where else makes me upset. The fact that the fact that people mistake hot dog for sandwiches sometimes. I had to pause the video. I was like, hang on, I heard that right. We played it and I was like, and we were all just like, yep.
So he was like, okay, well that was stupid, but whatever. And then in episode 7, a character ends up showing up at his hot dog stand and asks for 2 hot dog sandwiches, and Jason paused the video and immediately switched to the sub. he's like, no, we ain't doing this.
I can't do this. I can't do this.
I was like, I quit the dub.
Give up.
I'm done. I'm done.
Where's my give up machine? There you are.
I need it.
And he's like, and immediately just like literally just we were screen sharing because his internet's much more stable for watching stuff, so he was streaming it to us. But yeah, he immediately just closed out tab, opened up new tab.
Hey man, I only appreciate the it's not even so much what the people want it to be, but it's just the argument itself about hot dog sandwiches. Because it's so hilarious.
It's just the fact that the show, it says it out of nowhere. Like,
Yeah, the fact was the conversation that they were having was about some other crap, and then he just randomly brings it up out of nowhere, and
Yeah,
it was
sounds like a
something.
Yu-Gi-Oh dub.
Yeah, and it was something added into the dub specifically because he said something differently in the sub. Because we had already seen that episode.
Also,
I still think one of the
also
worst
the
was like
also,
5Ds, but you can go on because I'm sure you have more to talk about.
Also, the dub opening for Raids is hot garbage.
Yeah, so you know how they usually make a new song for the opening for the English and then just edit the visuals? They didn't even bother to make a new song. They just ambient background music while the intro plays.
Oh,
Wow.
Wow.
We were like, you know, we actually like the cheesy English opening. And
Going
you didn't
fast,
even give us
make
that.
me feel alive.
Listen,
GX
Patrick,
is
you can
still
make
amazing.
listen, Patrick. You can make fun of 5D. You can make fun of GX. I like those openings.
No,
Those
I like
cheesy
them too.
openings are the best part.
No, exactly. They're some of the best part. They're unironically some of the best part.
Yeah, I was like, I told Knight, I told our friend Knight, I was like, I want to watch the dub of Rain specifically because I enjoy that cheesy Yu-Gi-Oh-ness.
Yeah.
But then they just ruined it, and I'm like, no, why? Now I gotta watch this in
You
sub.
had
because...
one thing to help us get through this madness, and you failed us.
So I didn't watch Arc 5. It was a show before Reigns. I just heard from Night that after the halfway point, Arc 5 just takes really hard. But since people talking about the openings, I was like, I never heard the dub. I heard the dub opening for Arc 5. So I went back and played it. I was like 5 seconds into the opening, I was like, this is already better than Reigns.
Yeah, our experience was watching Arc 5 was me and Jason when it first came out, watched the first episode together. And by the end of the first episode, we said that was one of the most boring first episodes we've ever seen. We're not going to watch anything else.
It's just like,
Okay, real talk, can I just say quickly, oh my god, this shading and lighting is incredible right now.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
looking at.
That feels like something right out of an old Disney movie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
one thing I'll say about the remakes of Spyro and Crash is they look gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, you
Listen,
can get
man.
I think there's now a combo pack that's usually going for like $30
So
now.
when's our Ape Escape remastered trilogy?
I think that's
Don't
next.
tease me!
I think that's next. I
Don't
honestly
tease
think
me!
that's coming up next.
Why would you say those words?
Because I want it, Jason.
I didn't know I wanted it until you said it out loud just now. I was like, remastered Ape Escape 1. Yes, give me.
Yeah, overall, my experience with the Yu-Gi-Oh shows is that I started with GX, really got into it with 5Ds because that was the first one I actually watched when I was the target audience for it.
Yeah. Mine was basically was Duel Monsters and kind of ended with Duel Monsters because, admittingly, I think I was a little too old by the time, about the time that Yu-Gi-Oh! GX kind of started, and I'll admit, especially starting GX kind of has one of the rougher first seasons, I feel like.
I had for the original, I had the entirety of the VHSs for season 1, all the DVDs for season 2, and the first DVD of season 3.
See, Patrick, okay, so GX is my favorite of the Yu-Gi-Oh series.
Yeah, I know.
If I just go,
Jason, we know you love that. You don't need to say it.
Listen, I gotta rep Jade in every single possibility I can, cause I just love my elemental heroes, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Love season 1, love season 2, season 3 sucks, season 4, season 4 is decent.
Yeah.
I was so the appropriate audience for the original Duel Monsters because I remember having that demo VHS that was mentioned on Kerberfer's
Yeah, the
video
one that didn't have
before
Dan
Dan Green
at-
was casted.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I've seen that before.
Yeah, I used to have that back in the day, and that's how I was introduced to the series. So you know what, I was prime picking for that, and as with most cartoon shows back in the day, I followed up enough that I could usually understand the through lines for later episodes that I eventually missed because time was usually busy on weekends.
Yeah.
But I definitely started to fell off. Yeah, fell off with around GX.
Yeah.
And even then, I was still kind of a similar situation with the original Duel Monsters, where it's like I catch something, I was like, I guess I understand what's going on.
It was kind of, I was able to follow it fine pretty much, and I was able to catch it through the first arc all the way through kind of the near end of Orichalcos, and then I kind of fell off after that.
I definitely
Because I think
fell
they started
off
GX around that time too.
Yeah,
like being able to like actively like be on the know of that pretty much died out once I died out from the card game around 5Ds. Because by the time 5Ds came around, the way that my schedule worked with what I had to do, I would always like basically it would come on like right before I had to leave for school because they played it in the morning or like in the morning before I'd leave for school.
That was big for Pokemon.
So I would sometimes get to catch it, sometimes wouldn't, and I ended up being able to fall off because of it, and then I fell off of the game too. And then I just recently, with the last year or two, came back to the game, and that's why I was kind of interested in watching the new series to see how it was.
I have learned through Alex. How stupid the meta is for Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh yeah.
I don't play competitively.
I have enough friends who are competitive enough to explain the stupidity to me. It's hilarious.
Like, okay, so here's the thing. This to me is the funniest part about Braves. In the show, they had to change the boss monster of the main character because the boss monster he uses is banned because it's too strong.
Yeah, so they had to change what monster he used because they can't sell that card by having him use it because it's banned, so nobody will be able to play it in tournament.
That is amazing.
And then for the two of the other characters, which if you watch the opening, you would think, oh, these are pretty important characters. They had to give them in the second season two new decks because their decks were way too powerful. like just to give you an example, for the character Go, what his deck's main gimmick is the fact that he can search for pretty much any card that had the name that had the
Goki is what the Archtech was called.
Yeah,
Archtech was called.
Yeah, that had the name Goki in it.
And he could get that. He could get that by his cards getting sent to the graveyard, regardless of whether it was by him or his opponent.
That's dumb.
So they had
really
to change
dumb.
his deck because otherwise they'd have to have him play stupidly to be able to lose a duel.
Was that a hiccup?
No, I was opening up my water bottle, and they fill these water bottles all the way to the tippy top, so some of the water came out.
You know, back in my day, they didn't have to change character stuff. They just made up shit with the cards. That's what.
Yeah, they just
did.
made up shit when then they came along.
Hey,
It's
man,
okay.
we
The
need to
main
have a filler duel between Yugi and Joey in Duelist Kingdom. So let's create a whole new version of Dark Magician that we can sell.
It's okay, Pat. You would love it because the main character has a skill that he can use when he has Yeah, it's literally basically cheating. When he has 1,000 or less life points, he can literally go into this fucking data storm thing and pull a random card out of it.
What?
Which of course is always the card he needs to win the duel, because why wouldn't it be?
Because the new dueling format that the show is advertising is called speed duels, which is the thing for Duel Links.
Yeah, that's what it is for the dueling.
How is that different than the 5D one?
It isn't. They're literally dueling on hoverboards, flying through data wind in virtual reality.
And like one of the new things that they added was the fact that because the duels are because the duels are just like go by faster. Each player can pick a duel skill that they can only activate once in the middle of the duel. So the skill that they give the main character is the fact that if he has 1,000 life points or less, he can literally go to the data store and pull out a new card.
Does it? Yeah, because I remember like Duel Links kind of has a similar thing to that.
Yeah, it's not even similar, it's the same thing. But yeah, like most situations you could have something like, oh, I start out with this specific field card. So like, oh, Kaiba, I love my dragon, so I'll have a mountain field come out right away.
Yep.
Or you can have some of the more complicated ones.
Yeah, so whenever they're speed dueling, they all have little skills that they can activate. And yeah, the main character's skill is literally cheating. Now, granted, he's not the only one that can do it. There are some other people that can do it too, but still. They're not even trying to hide it at this point. His skill is literally to cheat.
It's like, I understand what the in-universe explanation is, but I just see the writing on the wall so hard. I just go,
Like-
you're literally doing out making up a new card.
Like, I think they're, like, Heart of the Cards is bullshit, bullshit, but, like, okay, I'll buy it. Until, the end of the series where they blatantly say, like, he's flat out cheating.
And
I mean,
that was
he's
already a
literally
more
forcing-
interesting thing. The most interesting thing about the original Yu-Gi-Oh manga was that half of those competitions were people cheating like asses.
Yeah.
Yugi too. Hell, he cheated the hell out of Bakura at the start.
That's why when it comes to whenever you see like a list of Yu-Gi-Oh protagonists who cheats the most, Jada is usually at the bottom of the list because he's the protagonist that cheated the least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I think a lot of Jaden's duels are honestly, especially near the start, a lot of them are just kind of playing like idiots. A lot of the early duels, at least.
Like, you seriously
it's
go
because
to
they're at a
for this
school
game and you
learning
didn't know
to-
this?
Well,
Duel.
it's even the professors that are still like
I know.
blatantly.
Can we talk about that, by the way?
I
Like,
still
like
think one of the funniest things that was brought up by Little Karibo is because he was watching GX until his health was taking a turn, so he needed to take time for himself.
Yeah.
But he got to the one where Jaden duels the guy who stole Yugi's deck.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the moment where he uses Swords for Revealing Light, and Jaden doesn't know what it does, and everyone's just like, "What the literal fuck?"
What does Pot of Greed do?
It works because freaking Swords for Revealing Light was like episode 1. Like, come on.
Yeah. Also, again,
Like,
this is
that really
Yugi's deck or whatever. So you think Jaden being all super like, I'm gonna become the next king of games? He would know every single fucking card in.
But stuff like that never really bothers me, Yu-Gi-Oh, just because when you're watching Yu-Gi-Oh, even as a kid, you understand what the whole point of the show is. It's like one giant advertisement. So when a character never knows what a card does, even if that card is so common that everybody should know what it does.
It's like one of those. You can understand it the first time, but when the card has been played multiple times and
I activate Pot of Greed. It allows me to draw 2 cards.
No
Thank
way!
you.
Like, it's like the more egregious
That's not
version.
fair. Nobody knows what that card does.
It's like the most it's a more egregious version of watching Pokemon, and Ash pulls out the Pokedex for a Pokemon he's already seen before.
Yeah.
Like, Ash, you know this. You fought this.
But no, I know, like
You
Jason
own
said,
this Pokemon. Oh, but I'll check what the Pokedex has to say. It might give me something new.
Yeah,
New
we-
advertising material.
We know that it's
Picture
advertising.
your shoulder?
Advertising material, but yeah, can we just talk about GX's whole premise for a second? How the fuck do you make a school entirely based around dueling with enough things to teach you that you can have a 3-year curriculum?
Oh no, but I buy it.
Like, I can
could've had
understand
an
a couple
argument
months.
up until the fact that you brought up the 3-year curriculum.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, I'm not saying that you cannot make
Like,
classes
I think
to teach you how to duel.
a year I could buy, but like 3 years, I'm like, okay, come on.
I can see it as like you're training people to be professionals in this sport. Like, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I could see there being classes. I could see that. But 3-year broad curriculum, and you know how the one professor said he had a PhD in duology or whatever, and you're like, hold on a second.
So
This is a legitimate field of study, is what you're saying.
So here's the thing. It's also established the fact that some people go to that school not just to learn how to duel, they also go there for other.
That is true. There are some
like,
people who went there strictly to make other games and stuff like that. Work in the VR industry.
Yeah, like for example, there was Chumley who didn't go there to learn to duel.
Well, I mean, he went there to duel, but then he figured out he didn't want to do just dueling.
Yeah,
He wanted to work in the industry.
Because it turns out he's really good at drawing.
Yeah.
I'll
just
Yes,
make
but
a-
it also
I
implies,
win
that the only way you're getting anywhere in that school is by dueling.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
anytime
Well, I mean,
we
it's
see
like the same
It's like
as
real university.
Yeah, it's like those schools that you go to a school that blatantly is not supporting your program, kind of thing of like they keep throwing money into sports or stuff like that, even though their sports team kind of sucks or stuff like that.
That was my high school so bad.
Oh,
Like
that's
so much
fine.
more attention to the sports teams, and I'm like,
They never win. Why do we keep throwing money there?
If I can direct you towards the trophy case, you would notice that a lot more of those trophies belong to the marching band and the theater kids, and the things you guys don't seem to care about. I wonder.
That was totally
I wonder
my
if you're
school.
idiots. I wonder if everyone's an idiot here.
I never pay attention to any of the competitive stuff going on in my school at all.
I had to because I was in marching band, so I had to perform for those idiots.
Well, it was it was especially because I was in
Stefan, that's how it goes, right?
I was in both choir and choir and theater, so we totally kept hearing about all the BS that the high school football team and stuff like that they were able to get privileges for that we could not at all, even though we have won way more awards and had way more recognition.
Pat, I think the gem you're looking for is near one of the portals.
Yeah, okay. I can actually use sparks this time in this version of the game, so...
But yeah, no, I was also part of band and pep band, so yeah, no, Stefan, I know what you're talking about with that.
Hey,
I think one of the funniest things was one time when I was watching we were just at a homecoming game or something with my mom, and my mom turned to me and was like, "Do you know what's happening?" I'm just like, "Yeah, I've had to sit through this shit for over a couple of years, Mom. I think I know how football plays."
Do I enjoy it? That's another. That is another question.
I mean, hell, both my dad and my brother are way into football and hockey, so it's like I kind of have to understand how those games play because I didn't have a choice growing up. Also, hi, Alexandra.
Yay.
No, yeah, we can bring the Yu-Gi-Oh tangent back to that last stream.
Oh, I could tangent about Yu-Gi-Oh all I want.
Flame Swordsman makes me mad because...
No, okay.
He's a fusion monster.
Well, no,
He's a first era fusion monster, which means he was kind of garbage in most situations.
But the whole joke is that yesterday, no, it wasn't yesterday, but when we were doing the stream incentive stream, is that Stefan got me to play as Mega Man, and for some reason, Mega Man's forward air just became Flame Swordsman at that point.
Well, he was also up against Alexandra, so it wasn't that bad for him because Alexandra doesn't know how to deal with Mega Man that well. So despite the fact that Pat doesn't play Mega Man, he's pretty good. And I say pretty good with big quotation marks because any higher level Mega Mans would put everyone out here to shame. Alexandra's pretty mad.
Anyway, the final thing.
To be fair, Alexandra, I'm not talking behind your back because you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was gonna say the final thing to say for the Yu-Gi-Oh tangent, just so I can make fun of myself here. It's okay. Jason got to watch me play. Jason got to watch me play that Yu-Gi-Oh game that came out a few years ago, Legacy of the Duelist.
That was.
Oh, I know what you're gonna tell.
And here's the thing: it lets you play through the anime, and it lets you play through the duels from the anime. And I was like, that's kind of cool, and it lets you have like little story decks and stuff. And
so
I did that.
Actually, play the duels, as correctly stated.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
And that was fine for the first like half of the original series before I got to the point where, since Yugi or whoever won a very specific way, they set up the deck only to win that super specific way. And if you didn't win that certain way, or the opponent managed to get something good that prevented you from doing that, you're just fucked.
I think one of the funniest was always when you get to the. I think one of the funniest was always when you get to the duel against the Rare Hunter with the Exodia deck, because you can absolutely lose in the first round if they get lucky.
Oh
enough.
yeah.
I know what happened to both Michael Jones and Ray from Achievement Hunter, or formerly in the latter's case. Both just like first, they just start the video and just like, yeah, okay, this won't be too bad. Immediately lose. Well, shit, I didn't get to do anything.
The one that made me the most angry because of just how not accurate it was when he got to GX and he had to do the duel of Jaden versus Crowler. I was like, all right, what's Jaden's step? Because by this point, I was like, okay, Element of Heroes. Because at this point, I'm pretty sure that they're going to set up a deck so he can pull out Flame Wingman easily. No, they gave Jaden a fusion structure deck. but no elemental hero.
Yeah, they gave him a fusion structure deck because the game had a tutorial to teach you how to fusion summon when you've already been through the entirety of the original, some of which required you to fuse a monster to win.
Including Kaiba with his Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon.
Yes.
I know, like, I understand the mindset because they can't just assume that the player would start from the beginning. Because some people might start from their favorite
Maybe
Yu-Gi-Oh
you
show.
started a series with GX. Maybe you started with 5Ds.
Yeah, and for that aspect, it's fine. It's just the fact that that's not the deck that Jaden
Yeah,
has.
because I was like, I can understand you wanting to teach someone how to fusion, but considering Jaden's whole thing is fusing, why do you need to give him a different deck to teach somebody how to fuse?
His default kit is just Fusion Central.
It's one of the better kind of fusion just setup decks in the show, so.
It's really good at advertising fusions.
Well, I
But
mean,
it's because
especially
they
kinda
had to make sure that I could win a super specific way in the tutorial, so that way the tutorial would be able to end with me winning in
Well,
like
I mean,
3
to
turns.
be fair, they had to give you a reason to use fusion monsters because before GX, it was so not worth it for a lot
Hey, do
of
you remember
fusion
that one fusion monster that was a fusion of like 2 1-stars
Yeah.
that became like a fusion monster with like 1,000 attack points? That was cool, right?
Because here's the thing, like, nowadays, if I were to use Elemental Hero deck, Elemental Hero deck nowadays is so dumb because it's just pull
By the way,
monsters
ask
in
Jason.
8-9-1.
Ask Jason about pendulum monsters. He loves to talk about them.
What?
Oh, I see what we're doing here.
Yeah, he's gonna pretend he doesn't know what they are.
You know what? That's a fair strategy. It'll probably work well for him in the future.
Don't know what. Don't know what. What are we talking about?
Don't worry about it, Jason.
Card
Don't worry
games.
about what? Card.
We're talking about card games.
Oh, I love card games. Okay, we need a
Man,
competitive.
Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories was pretty fun, right?
Yeah.
It is.
It actually is. I quite enjoy that game.
It is. I
Well,
also
okay,
enjoy that game.
like, I kind of agree with, I've been watching some of the Team 4 stuff that they did,
Team 4 stuff.
the Team 4 stuff,
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine.
but
Just kill yourself.
Yes.
I was a little too close.
Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, I was rewatching some of their Chain of Memory stuff, and I kind of agree with them where I feel like I own it, even though like I would probably go back to play Chain of Memories for nowadays and stuff like that. That I feel like Chain of Memories is honestly much more appreciated if you play it as the Game Boy Advance game rather than the remake kind of thing.
Alexandra, Pendulum Monsters is a new summoning type that they introduced in Arc 5, and in my opinion, it really makes Yu-Gi-Oh way more complicated than
It completely destroyed the Yu-Gi-Oh meta, which is why for the new one, Brains, they had to completely change how the game works so that way they could try to fix it.
Because
how
it works is the fact that you put a monster on the left side of the board, and let's say that monster is a 2-star, and then you put a monster on the right side of the board. Let's say that monster is a 5-star. What you could then now do, you can special summon as many monsters you want between those 2 levels.
This is some
And also-
5D chess shit we're talking about.
And
now.
also they have, Jason, it's not their star level, it's their pendulum scale. And also,
Is it worse that
pendulum
we have
monsters
2 people here so they can correct each other.
and pendulum monsters aren't just monsters, guys. They're also spell cards because when you activate them, they count as spell cards. And then when they get destroyed, they get put on top of your extra deck face up instead of going to the graveyard, which you can then pendulum summon immediately back out to the field as long as your pendulum scale is right.
It's so dumb.
So what you're telling me is Pendulum Monsters is the dream drop distance of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes.
It's like, why?
But yeah, so because
Oh yeah, Alexander,
literally,
you better be happy.
but yeah, pendulum monsters literally just let you summon whatever you want as long as it's within the levels of the pendulum scale. So then for links, they had to first change the board completely, make it so the pendulum monsters now take up 2 of your spell and trap card zones if you want to use them, which I think was actually a good idea. Secondly, now you only can summon 1 monster from your extra deck at one time. What's the way you get around this? Why? By using link monsters, of course, which are the new one. They have
You could
no
make, like,
levels.
a highlight video of them just like, describing Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. That'd be
Yeah, they have
amazing.
no levels, no defense points. They literally can't be put in defense mode. And the way that you summon them is by just literally having a bunch of monsters out in your board that fit the summoning condition.
Can we get
For
that-
example.
Can we get that clip again of just the zoom in on Sora's face while he just keeps talking, because it's always appropriate, especially on topics like this.
But yeah, so it's like, let's say that you have the main character's first Link monster you use, Decode Talker, which is a Link 3. You need literally just 3 effect monsters. Just straight up, just send them to the graveyard, special summon. Or Link summon.
And you can
No fancy thing at all, no fancy card needed, literally just the monsters.
Our turn could go on for really long because they just keep linking so many monsters. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and then the way that the extra deck stuff works now is they have these little link markers on the card, and you can then summon extra deck monsters to those specific card zones, and sometimes there are effects based on cards that are in certain zones. Because now it matters what where now it actually matters where you put your monster in your monster zone.
See, this is
No,
why I
everyone
dropped
shut
out.
up and let him keep going.
This is why I dropped out Yu-Gi-Oh after Zexal, because it's
But
why?
yeah,
Make it so
the TLDR to explain this is, you know how you have 5 zones for monsters? Normally it doesn't matter which one, where you put what, you can put it wherever the fuck you want. Now it does, because now it can be like, oh, you know, if there is a monster linked to this card in that specific zone, then it gets this effect.
I love that that's the too long to not read or did not read version, and yeah, it's still a little too long.
By the way, Alex,
Alexander,
are you seeing the stream right now?
The moral of the story of Pokemon is serious business.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah, no, honestly, just like, you know, for anybody curious that's in the chat, just look up, you know, dual replays in the new Link format and just look how stupid it is. Because Link monsters don't require any extra things to pull them out, like synchros with the tuners or like, you know, overlaying for the XZ monsters and anything like that. You literally can just straight up just summon whatever you want. Just bam, Link monster, bam, Link monster, bam, Link monster. Because you can use Link monsters in Link monsters. Because why not?
Oh, is that the Knuckles' eyes like going around his head?
Yeah.
Because let's say you've got a Link 3 and you need and you have something that's a Link 4. You can use the Link 3 as 3 of that 4, so you only need 1 after that.
I love when we were afraid of Jason going off, and yet we're just leading right into it. Got Alex on the charge.
I'm sorry. I'm very passionate about this.
You know what? I can appreciate that.
Listen. I know I'm bad, but I also know Alex. If you get him on a very specific topic that he enjoys, he can go off home.
I still, to this day, really enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is why the current state of the game makes me so upset.
Hey man, that dragon looks cool.
Hey man, that dragon
I like
looks
that
cool.
dragon. That's a nice dragon.
But no, with that ending of my rant, I unfortunately have to go. If
Aw.
Alexandra wants to come into the call,
no, that
she
means
can.
the other Alex can come in and murder me.
Yes, I'm gonna let Alexandra come in so she can murder you. So
Yeah, that's
be
fair,
be
though. I
prepared,
deserve
Alexandra. I'm letting you come in.
Bye, Yu-Gi-Oh, Professor.
Yeah.
Who
Goodbye.
wants this professor you meet?
it. I wonder if everyone should just mute them or deafen themselves now. Oh no, it's gonna be a quiet rage. What am I talking about? I know you're in the chat now. Hi.
I said hello, Pokemon Professor. He said goodbye, Yu-Gi-Oh Professor. I was like, okay,
Oh boy, here we
Pokemon
go! Round 2!
No, I've already gone on my spiel about Mega Evolutions and Z moves 10 million
Yeah.
times. I'm not doing that again.
Listen.
I'm just like concerned about what gimmick they're gonna throw in for Gen 8, and then it's gonna fuck up the metagame even more.
Listen, you can play about the metagame for Yu-Gi-Oh all you want, but the metagame for Pokemon is also dumb in its own way.
Oh yeah.
did. That's why I dropped it. I dropped it during ORES because it was just weather war bullshit.
Yeah, I mean,
Was that weather? I guess it technically was, but it was mostly weather war for the two primals.
But again,
That's the
Alexandra.
problem.
Yeah,
Alexandra,
yeah, no,
at
it's not
least
Gen 5 weather wars, that's for certain.
But Alexandra, at least for Pokemon, you never had to worry about them giving characters to different Pokemon because the Pokemon they have is too broken and bad. Oh no, we can't use that Charizard.
Hey Ash, I noticed you have a Goodra there. You're not allowed to use that ever again. No, you can't even call it in for that one fight.
Not banning anything outside of like mythical Pokemon because they're event Pokemon and not everyone can access them. Banning anything causes problems in and of itself because then everything just gravitates towards the same strategy and then nothing's interesting.
Yep.
I mean, that's just, unfortunately, that's just kind of any competitive game is that people will go for what
you
works.
go into the same motions and you just don't change
because
anything.
I can also, I can also have a read about that when it comes to competitive Overwatch.
Well, I mean, that's even just with, like, even fighting games and stuff like that. That's why there's tier lists and that kind of thing.
You have a quote-unquote bread and butter that just becomes your entire thing, and it's just like, okay, well...
Especially if a game's
again.
meta is just so disgustingly kind of broken and something like, say, Marvel...
Melee? Oh, I said it!
Actually, no, not with Melee. Melee's actually one of the better...
I was joking.
Melee's one of the better when
You're
it comes
really
to that.
hard to tell with your jokes.
I think more something like, say, of a Marvel 3 or stuff like that, where it's so clear, like Virgil Zero
Wesker.
not so much Wesker. Virgil Zero
Really?
Doom.
I remember Wesker was like.
Well,
really
in the original Marvel 3, he was. Not.
I know my
Ultimate.
friend despises the Sparta Brothers and Zero specifically because of this.
Zero May Cry team. Yeah, Zero May Cry team. That's not a fun time.
You mean no. So you mean what am I fighting for? Because he does.
What am I fighting for?
No,
Mother.
it's not what am I fighting for, it's what am I crying for.
What am I crying for? I don't even know why he's crying as he holds irises in his hands.
But
My robot
Just
girlfriend!
I think. Not really elaborate on.
Oh no, I had to check the wiki!
You had to introduce her into a freaking side game, just trying to give her more development for that.
That she's never mentioned ever again.
Like it does make me.
It's like Zero's love interest. Oh, you mean CL? Who? CL. It's like play Mega Man Zero.
I have so many questions.
CL has a crush on him. He does not.
Yeah. By the way, since
at
Urban
all.
brought it up, yes, tomorrow is going to be Sub Night with Jackbox. So look forward to that. And also
City up in here.
Of course, new sub goal is Fire Emblem 3 Houses, which you guys are gonna have to work for that one. It's 100 subs by July for that, so best of luck.
I'm excited for Fire Emblem Duel Academy.
We made the joke.
Aww.
Slide for a red! Slide for a red! Slide for a red!
Hey man, she's hot. But then again, so is Raw Yellow, so it's like, hey.
I'm a simple man.
Yeah, he is hot.
I'm a simple man with simple pleasures.
All I know is just again avoiding blue because they're gonna bound to lose, so probably gonna go yellow most likely. I feel like at this point.
Hashtag Team Instinct for life, baby.
Tag Team Mystic, shut up.
I joined Mystic, but
those?
really I could go anyway.
Okay, hashtag Team Instinct if we're talking about Suffrage's fan comic, cause holy fuck, Spark is hot in that.
Listen, hashtag Team Instinct because I almost called it Zagoo. I was like, that's not right.
Wait a minute.
Team Instinct's run by Tyler.
Ty, tell me your secrets.
I think we know what Jason thinks about with Tyler.
Hashtag Team Instinct because Zapdos is the best of the legendary birds.
Well, yeah, that's no
I was
question.
gonna say Zagoo because it's like, you know why he says Zagoo? Because Ty's the parry king. He goes Ultra Instinct on everybody in Smash.
Striking for Smash Brothers pretty huge. Only 10% of his power.
But yeah, I think I joined Mystic just because I had a friend who's like, hey, I'm in Mystic, join my team. It's like,
Oh
okay.
god, it starts again.
Jojo, why'd you have to do that?
Jojo, don't!
Don't enable
Don't
him.
encourage
Not
him.
Jojo Urban.
No, Jojo
God
encouraged
damn it.
him. We're
Thank
blaming
God, this
Urban,
is-
but Jojo encouraged him.
The thing is that I'm worried about is that Spyro wants the game that Urban went on that like crazy.
He'll
gift
have.
summon.
It won't be a drill to pierce the heavens. It's gonna go right into the ground.
Oh no, that's right. We were playing Spyro when that subtrade happened.
Oh God, you're right.
Yeah, we were.
Oh no, history's
I
repeating
missed that.
itself.
Am I gonna get to see this again live?
I saw the VOD for that. I saw the highlight.
I saw the VOD. Yeah, there's no
By the
way.
way,
I could...
Patrick, that Twitter video you made about Genie is still stuck in my head.
I can't believe it. I'm losing to a play.
Is that reinvigorated because of the live action stuff?
Yep. Make your move. That's a
That's a good move.
Also, Pat,
Please
what?
listen to a
Pat,
plan.
last time you got you infected the art. You brought the Arnold to Johnny's stream.
No, he brought.
I blame you for that.
No,
by the
Johnny
way.
seriously started that on his own. I was just like, oh God, it never leaves me no matter where I go. Arnold keeps following me.
That's a good move.
Do. Never before has the Terminator theme actually been appropriate.
Oh, speaking of Terminator, Alexandra, I saw Alita Battle Angels today. It's a good movie.
Not really interested.
Well, I mean, at this point, whoa.
It is next week, cause How to Train Your Dragon.
Good job, Pat.
What?
It's gotta be good.
Well, one thing I gotta say
Oh,
is,
hi, Sophie.
can we train this dragon how to not clip through floors?
Wait,
I'm actually not that
Yeah,
interested in
that's-
How to Train Your Dragon 3.
I still
I
need
want
to
to see how
watch
the
the third
story
one.
ends. Also, they just keep making Jacob hotter. Why do they do this to me?
Because you have shallow taste. Hey.
You.
But yeah, I do want to see Dragon 3 though. At the same time, my focus now is all kind of on Frozen 2 at this point, because holy shit!
me.
I was gonna say,
You mean how Aradel should have been in Kingdom Hearts 3?
I was just like, wow! Yeah, when is Lark Seed showing up at this point? Because like, oh my god!
Larxene gets recompleted and she's just like, you know what, that was fun to mess up that place. Let's do that again.
Again. Let's go again. Again. I gotta do it
But
again.
like,
Or Elrena or whatever
but like
her name
seriously,
is.
compare that to the first trailer, which was like that Olaf.
It's just Olaf.
Olaf.
Just
thing.
Olaf and Sven just messing around.
Oh no. Okay, Urban $1. So taunt. Okay, there we go.
Soiled it! Soiled it! Also,
Soiled
you
it.
left the dragon, Tad. As you are rolling, you left the
Okay,
dragon. There was an obvious dragon.
Jet's first priorities.
Oh my goodness,
Wait,
SpongeBob is
Spyro?
Guys, this is it. SpongeBob is reportedly getting spin-offs.
Wait, you rescued Enzo? Wait, since when did it become an episode of Reboot?
or Enzo from Bayonetta.
Oh, ENZ. Oh, no. You rescued Enzo from Bayonetta outside the cussing.
Don't worry, guys. Bayonetta's coming.
It's really unfortunate for the people of Brooklyn and the other New York areas because their accents kind of been soiled by media.
Yeah.
No one can ever take them seriously now.
Brooklyn
and then you get people
Boston.
like-
It's Brooklyn. Well, Boston has a crap ton of other like cultural problems, and the,
Yeah, they have enough to
the
deal
accent's
with.
probably the least of it now. There's of course the Red Sox not winning the World Series for a long time, the Patriots winning too much, and everyone's angry at
I'm kind
them.
of glad my brother moved out, so I don't have to
Them
keep hearing about that.
apparently being assholes about sports no matter what. It was like no matter if they win or lose.
But,
Listen, you know what, guys? I'm glad the Patriots won because now I can play 7 Rings Ahead over and over.
Oh, that's only 6. They're only at 6. They have to have one more.
I still
Sports,
think
I do
my
research.
favorite thing to come out of Will Smith Genius. You felt favorite. I'll shut that mouth of yours permanently.
yeah, the photoshops have been a bit more fun.
Oh man,
Also,
I feel like
fun,
you,
but-
if I get access to back to my Wii like over Breaker stuff like that, I kind of want to stream Secret Rings just for the meme fest.
And like I said, I say it again. It is sad when something in Sonic and the Secret Rings did it better.
Yeah.
That's sad.
At the same time, though, when it comes to CGI Will Smith, what were people expecting?
Well, no, it's that I was honestly just expecting them to go
I
the
think-
Broadway route, where
Yeah, I
it's-
didn't expect him to be CGI at all.
yeah, where it's just basically Will Smith. They don't do anything CG with him, but he's just like in these royal kind of blue garbs and stuff like that. That's basically what
I
they
was
did on
fully
Broadway.
I was fully expecting them to CG like GD all the way. Like I was fully
I
expecting
won't say
it.
it didn't occur to me, but I kind of just hoped in my heart that that wasn't going to be what they would did.
It was just like
Oh,
the
of
worst
course, this
case
is modern
scenario they
Disney,
went
so.
Oh,
with. kind of.
Stefan, I'm sorry. You poor man.
I am quite poor. Give me money.
Please.
Patrick, I gave you $8. You had no right to talk.
Which,
Patrick, I gave you $8. You had no right to ask for money.
well, I guess I can repeat the story since I know a lot of people weren't here for it. But I had a kind of a faith in humanity moment today.
Ah, yeah, that's.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so today is Valentine's Day, of course, and
What? No, shut up.
what?
I can't believe
So,
it.
so no. So you mean the day before the actual holiday discount chocolate
Yes,
day?
exactly.
I
but-
can't believe I'm losing to love.
But yeah, with that, I basically decided, you know what? I am gonna treat myself. I am gonna go out for food. So I went out for to a pub place to, you know, just grab a good burger and that kind of thing. And I was the only person in there alone because everyone else was either with family or with their significant others and that kind of thing.
Soon to be family.
Yeah. So I was about to pay my bill. I asked the waitress, you know, of like, hey, whenever you're ready, can I please have my bill? And she says to me that apparently the elderly man with his grandchild that were like the table across from me apparently paid my bill without me knowing. And
Aww.
but it was just like I kind of wish I knew who they were because I wanted to thank them for it, but they were long gone by that point. So
Well, now you can imagine the kindest old man you can.
yeah, Santa.
Xehanort!
Wait a minute.
What? Wait a minute.
If
So,
I
so
pay-
for Xehanort,
Jason.
so if Xehanort got a present, is the lump of cold darkness or light?
Yes, Stefan?
Are you making a joke there? Because you imply that Xehanort is not a nice old man.
Why would he ever do anything
Well,
bad?
listen, Stefan, here's his whole plan. If I pay for Patrick's bill, it will open up his heart. Stefan can go inside and nort him. Sleep with one eye. You better sleep tonight, Patrick. You're going to get norted.
Kill him with
No,
kindness.
I see the map. I'm noticing like something that is different compared to like most other like old 3D like the original version of Spyro. I mean, I know I haven't played, but I know one thing from what I've seen. There wasn't a map.
Yeah, this was added into Reignited.
Oh my god! If they ever remake Banjo-Kazooie, do you realize
Yes.
what that would a map would make
Just being able to
everything?
figure out where you're going would be such a game changer.
Go.
Actually, you know, not even particular Banjo-Kazooie. If they did that for
Banjo-Tooie.
Banjo-Kazooie, I would
Yeah.
probably like the game a hell of a lot more.
I
Makes
see
me-
way
makes
more
me
Let's
wonder
Players
for-
quit playing Tooie more than Kazooie.
Uh,
I'm not surprised.
makes me wonder, like, cause I've had for like the rumor has kind of died down, but I remember for a while hearing that Jack and Daxter was gonna be one that they were considering for the remake, kind of.
Please,
Kind of
It'd
thing.
be
please,
nice
please.
to not
Like,
it would be
for-
nice to not have Torn's textures disappear when he has his big moment.
Yes, that would be.
Yeah, and also nice to not have racist core either.
Oh, Core. I said Torn. God, that's a very different person.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Jack and Daxter, and because of Alex, I raised Ape Escape.
But yeah, it was just like if they were to do that, I wonder if they would give Jack and Daxter 1 a proper map at all.
Be really good for the. I mean, the areas aren't too big, but I would definitely
I feel
say
like
Snowy
only-
Mountain and Spider Cave would.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
Spider
Spider
Cave
Cave
it would help a
big one.
lot.
I'm just thinking about
Snowy
another like
Mountain would be
texture
okay,
glitch
but
I
definitely-
encountered in the HD version, the Jack and Daxter collection. So when you get the last Dark Jack ability in Jack 3, like his skin's supposed to turn purple and stuff, you know, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So during the cutscene when he's transforming, it does not. And he's just screaming, but that's not the weird part. It's his fingers that get really grotesque and gross. Because normally he's supposed to turn purple, and then his nails are supposed to get uber sharp.
Yeah.
didn't. It's just elongated fingers, and it was horror. It was even more horrifying.
Ew.
I think I remember they had a minor version of that back in the original game, where sometimes after you learn the power and you change back, Jack doesn't really change back, so he keeps a lot of the expressions, but he still has his base textures from Dark Jack. Well, the base model of Dark Jack, but the textures from before. I think the claws might not be there, so that's probably a
Oh yeah, and
major-
also that'll be a good. Speaking of texture fix, Light Jack, because like cutscenes, he's fine.
he loses
game
his hair
model.
color. Yeah, in the HD version, his hair doesn't change color.
But
Doesn't look bad, but it looks bad when you know what it's supposed to
like,
look
I know a big reason of why the collections had such a big problem was that it was by far, from what I hear, the hardest game to bring, like one of the hardest PlayStation remasters to do, because Naughty Dog did a lot of things you were not supposed to do with the PS2.
Chaz. Like, no, I legit want to know because this is some interesting.
Well, it was like
development stuff I
especially
don't know.
like going into using stuff like the DVD player part of the PS2, going back into PlayStation 1 emulation to run stuff in the background and that kind of thing. It was just basically one of those codes that they made with no intention of ever bringing it to another system. So when Naughty
In
Dog,
short, that's out of the 3 series, that's the one that's probably gonna benefit from a remake the most.
like basically when Naughty Dog heard that the games were gonna get remastered, they were just like, they're getting remastered. Somebody's have to go through that code. Oh my god, I am so sorry.
So,
So, like I said, in short, what you were saying is maybe we should have just pulled a Kingdom Hearts Final Mix and just remade the whole source code from the ground up.
They
But
might
it was
So what
to.
you're telling me is that Naughty Dog used everything of the PS2.
Yeah, but even the stuff that Sony like was strict not to use, but they found like ways to do it. Like Sony was just like, wait a minute, you did what?
I mean, mind you, Naughty Dog did some technical, like, technically impressive stuff, because I remember Game Explain had a video about loading screens and masking them. Jack and Daxter there was genius for what they did with Jack and Daxter. They pretty much loaded assets of levels as you got closer to them.
The
It was
Jack and
basically
Daxter for the first
invisible
time, right?
loading screen, and the zoomer levels were effectively
Yeah,
loading screens for the next hub.
Yeah.
You could definitely see just going through them where they should exist and where they actually do exist. But yeah, it's definitely way more subtle, especially for that era.
So like,
Yeah, it was like, if
so
they
like the
masked
Jack
it
and
so
Daxter
well, it's
games,
crazy.
so the Jack and Daxter games were the first games to do that, right? To
like
hide
one of the big first examples for sure.
Was one of the biggest first examples to do subtle loading, and I mean it's a little more obvious that they're loading like in an area in Jack 2 and Jack 3 because of the security walls usually.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it still blends into the environment really well because there's a reason for the security walls and everything.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
because in Jack 2 and 3, they basically go to Metroid Prime route at that point.
Yeah, you have your large hub, and then you have the smaller areas through the gates and teleporters.
Yeah.
So so me and my dad were talking about this on the car ride home today, where he just asked me in my opinion what was the golden era of video games.
Ooh.
Because to him it was the Dreamcast, PS2, GameCube era. So I was like, so like
6th gen.
I kind of agree, honestly, because like that's where we just figured out like where we were kind of past the figuring out how did 3D exactly work kind of stage, and now
And
people
how to
could-
work within the restrictions of your hardware and software.
Yeah, and then we were basically at the point of where we were still kind of limited of what we could do, so people still kind of had to find creative ways to get around technical limitations, which got them a lot more creative, in my opinion. So there's
because
like, it's not to say that games, nowadays aren't creative or anything like that, but there's nothing really holding developers back anymore.
Yeah, like one of the big technical achievements I've heard in in gaming in general has to do with Banjo-Kazooie, specifically the music. Do you know how the N64 only holds 64 megabytes, obviously, because N64.
Yeah.
Do you know how much space is the music?
How much?
Yes. No, just take a guess.
1 megabyte.
Is it over 50%?
No, 1. It's just 1.
Hey, I was right.
All that music was just 1 because Grant Kirkhope figured out how to do it.
And then it was especially in particular not only that, but also when Factor 5 was around, they were like crazy with N64 voice compression onto N64. It's why one of the reasons why Pokemon Stadium 2 still has like some of the best sound quality in the 64, hands down.
I apologize if you heard me coughing.
Because what brought up this conversation was the fact that I was just listening to the soundtrack for Jet Grind Radio.
It's Jason. It's just a radio.
See, Alexandra.
I know what the English release was. It's still Jet Set Radio.
Listen, Alexandra.
Calm down.
Jet Set Radio Japan, Jet Grind Radio in America. So to me,
I'll let the Jet Set Radio Future on the Xbox.
I played
It's
the
Jet
both.
Set Radio.
I played the both. Jet Grind Radio is the first one on the Dreamcast. I refuse to have this argument.
Guys, it's pronounced Goku.
I refuse to have this argument. The point is, I was listening
Thank you,
to
Scott
the soundtrack.
Frericks.
I was listening to the soundtrack because out of all the video game OSTs that I have, my dad always talks about the one for that series the most. Just because it's the kind of music that he actually listens to, and I just
Okay, random aside before you get back to hold your thought. I accidentally read that guy's name as Trogdor. I am so sorry. And I have just dated all of us.
because
I actually forget where that's from, but I think I should remember.
Homestar Runner.
Okay.
I didn't grow up with Homestar Runners. I didn't
Neither
know
did
what
I.
that
You
meant.
see, I mostly knew it
didn't
through
know years.
I mostly knew it through Strong Bad's Cool Game for Attractive People. Is how I
I
mostly
didn't even
knew
watch
about
Strong
it.
Bag stuff. I only know who he is because of really
I
osmosis.
still love the fact that in Guitar Hero 2 they actually have the Trogdor song in there.
Nice.
But
I heard that.
He has hiccup burps. Those are the worst.
Oh,
They're not the worst, but they're bad to listen to.
But yeah, I was just because I was I said it to my dad. You know, Shaker, if you ever one day decide that you want to focus on some of your other IPs on the side, I'll gladly take more I'm gladly take another Jet Set Radio, please. I'll just take that, please.
Well, Sega is getting way better at relying on franchises that aren't just Sonic now.
Valkyria Chronicles, Yakuza,
Ayo.
and then all the Atlas stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
all the Atlas stuff.
But this
Oh,
also
the
just goes with
Atlas.
the fact that I just watched Jet Set Radio. I missed that series. I missed it so much.
Sorry, I just got Pat. I just saw Pat get whacked by that giant thing.
Yeah.
I still haven't forgiven you.
I just
That's
noticed
the
that
first
they
thing.
fitted Reignited into the game itself. That's charming, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like a flat. You're just like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, have a nice day.
But yeah, I did switch Twitch now to be much more closer to real time at this point. So for future.
Oh,
streams-
how many seconds? How many seconds delay are we at now?
Well, let's try it out. Okay. Fire.
It's about what? 15 seconds.
That's not too bad. I think it used to be more.
Yeah, you have almost a 30-second delay before.
Yeah.
That was like
2
a
to 3
couple
seconds. Mystery Man, that was not 2 to 3 seconds.
It was way more than that because they didn't do fire. They put testing in from what I saw on the chat. Like I was looking at the chat and I saw when it showed up on the stream. It was like only a couple seconds. You got quiet. It's
Oh, that
now.
guy just does not want to let you buy
Yeah,
him.
I kind
We're
of.
all by this boss fight.
How do I figure? How do you get around this? Yeah.
Pat, this is a game for babies. You can do this.
I knew that they were re-releasing the Ace Attorney trilogy on the Switch, but I also didn't know they were also doing it for the. I also didn't know they were doing it for the PS4, Xbox One, and the PC.
Yeah, they're doing it for all systems.
Phoenix 6 go everywhere.
Phoenix
So,
or
so,
Smash?
so you can now eat your hamburgers, Apollo. On it's like
Eat your hamburgers.
In HD.
I still love that guy.
I love that.
Eat your hamburgers.
No, I think my favorite part is just like let us eat our American cuisine out of our Japanese.
on our traditional under the traditional kotatsu.
Eat your hamburgers.
Yeah.
Apollo.
Localization's a bitch.
I mean,
Well, to
here's
me-
the thing about the localization. The reason why I have nothing wrong with the Phoenix Wright stuff, as little as
It's
I
honestly
played
one of the better like translations.
Oh, but in terms of they know the
localizations
cultural
with it.
differences, but they know it, but they just run with it anyway, knowing full well about it.
They messed up to start, so then they were like, "Well, I guess we're here."
Well,
Let's
here was
dig
the
into
thing.
it.
Well, here was the thing was that they originally didn't put in many Japanese elements into the first Ace Attorney because they thought it might get localized and that would create hell. But when Ace Attorney 2 and 3 were being made, there wasn't really plans for localization at that point, so they just kind of went in with the Japanese elements, and that kind of screwed them later on.
Yeah. Well,
It could be
considering
worse.
it took an entire
Could be worse.
console
Could be how
generation
Atlas
for it to
handled
come
Trauma
to us.
Center.
God, Trauma Center, that one is... that one's hell. Because they can never fit... That one's bad because they keep switching between America and Japan and they can't keep it
The thing
consistent.
is, like, Under the Knife 1 and 2 are supposed to take place in Japan, taking place in America, but the localization had taken place in America with some points in Europe. And then New Blood and Trauma Team are actually supposed to take place in America.
Well, it's about
Apparently,
that
like,
time. I need to go.
Apparently,
I need to
like,
go get my hair
To
cut.
make the cameo, the
Alright, take
Under
care,
the Knife
Jason.
protagonist cameo makes sense in New Blood, like, and
And now Jason has died.
that was weird. But apparently, I read up apparently to make the Under the Knife, the New Blood cameo, like Under the Knife protagonist cameo from New Blood makes sense. They apparently implied in Under the Knife 2 that Derek got transferred to Japan at some point after the end of the second game. It's weird.
We kind of wish it was in San Fran, Tokyo, because it would mean that they didn't have to worry about the other one existing. San Fran, Tokyo is just like, yeah, San Francisco and Tokyo, it's the same thing. Shut up.
It's Tokyo.
But Japan
the battle. I
and
missed the battle
America
music.
still exist in Phoenix, right? I guess so.
Well, in the Ace Attorney community, we just refer to it as Japanifornia.
Yeah,
So-
I've heard that phrasing before.
California.
Yeah.
I'm assuming,
I heard about that from your
I'm
guys'
assuming this
playthrough back in
excludes
the day.
Spirit of Justice because that actually doesn't even take place.
Oh
in
no, we
Japan.
still call it Japanifornia in there because look at these,
Yeah.
look at these look at these very American cherry flea blossoms.
I mean, it doesn't even take place in. Isn't it like? Does it actually not take place in Japan either?
Well, okay, it basically
Japanese
takes
localization?
place half in an Indian country and half in the states Japan area. You kind of go between the two of them.
It's confusing as shit.
Yeah.
Someone dropped.
And came back.
I had my
Wise from your grave.
Wise from your wise.
Okay, darts, settle down.
No, that's Alter Beast.
That's darts. I'm sorry.
No, that'd be way more nonsense if it was Dart. Come on, man.
A bridge series darts. Which, by the way, apparently it's discovered. Did you guys see the that whole arc on the bridge series? He was talking like that because of the Orichalcos. It was
Yeah.
making him talk like that.
With a name that complicated, why wouldn't it?
You know what? Now that you put it that way, I shouldn't be surprised.
I need to catch up with Bridge because I don't think I've watched since the end of Orichalcos.
There's
Wait,
nothing
that
more
was
from there.
it. That's
Oh, okay.
he's working
Oh,
on
that's-
the he's working on Millennium World stuff now.
All right.
First he's working
gotta
on
say,
making sure his
Millennium
life's
World
all
was
together,
such a
and then he's gonna
weird
work on
season.
Millennium Life.
That was a weird ass season.
What, abridged or?
No, Millennium
or-
World.
I think that place's biggest issue was that the original author was like, I finally get to do a bunch of Egypt stuff, and then what is it, Shonen Jump and all that was just like, hey, dual monsters. He's just like, oh.
So then it's just like, I actually could
Also,
be
that
like,
might have been in the era in which he had a stomach ulcer that hospitalized him for a good couple months. So you know
Lord.
that he then had to cheat the system to get back to work because Shonen Jump is that bad.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a whole history video about the author of Yu-Gi-Oh! And yeah, no, that wasn't great. It was kind of oppressive, the lengths they had to go to do it, but yeah, it shouldn't have
Question,
happened.
Pat, do you have to get all the items in one go for it to
Yep,
count?
and that's why it sucks.
Ew.
This is some
Ew.
Banjo-Kazooie
Yeah,
OG nonsense.
I specifically remember from my review, I was just like, I don't know if it was like these in the original, but like, dear God, I felt like these sages were incredibly strict.
Fly any faster?
Nope, this is Spyro has 1 fly speed, and this is as fast as you're gonna go.
This is
Oh,
terminal
boy.
velocity as far as you can be concerned. Well, that's not what terminal velocity is, but shut up.
I was gonna say that's
I'm right.
terminal
You're wrong.
velocity is the last
Shut
level
up.
Sonic Colors, but up Tish. That's Asteroid Coaster, Pat.
Oh. It's been a while.
I remember oof, music.
Come on.
I'm terrible at melodies with music. And I'm even worse with lyrics, so, you know. Just imagine how bad that is.
Come on. No.
Okay.
Pat, you should learn to train your dragon better. That was terrible. I
Boo.
apologize to
Boo.
everyone. All
Boo this man. Boo this man.
apologize to
man.
all 10 or so people in the chat.
Oh man, I actually do want to go see How to Train Your Dragon 3. It
I'm-
does look really, really
I'm
good.
totally seeing it at this
I should
point.
probably watch 1 and 2 first.
Yeah.
Might help.
Maybe just a little.
I mean, it's no Kingdom Hearts 3 of just jumping right in, but hey.
Yeah.
I mean, is it really jumping right in? I still semi-question that in the end of the day in terms of
Especially
story.
when you
I
actually
mean, in
play
terms of
3.
gameplay, I have to say, kids, like I said, I know the overall mixed stuff aside, I have to give Kingdom Hearts 3 credit for being really accessible to newcomers.
Yeah.
They really explain a lot of stuff despite the fact that they tried to do all of that back in Dream Drop, and they were like, nah, we should probably actually catch up our characters on this stuff too.
And let's face it, Dream Drop is like the absolute worst jumping in point.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I'll play. I remember, I think I remember it was Liam, formerly a Super Best Friend, who was like, he picked up a Dream Drop just because he saw the Shibuya people in it, and he was just like, yeah, sure, I'll try it. And then he was just like, I never finished that one. So he's like, I jumped in, it's like, I
you
have
almost
no
had
idea
it.
what I missed. So I think his first game was Chain of Memories, which was already an interesting starting point. And then a good couple console generations later, it's just like, hey, Shibuya people are in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop. I'll go play that. I still have no idea how we got here.
I can't help but
Worst.
wonder the people who have followed Kingdom Hearts but didn't know about The World Ends With You. I'm just like, it's like I can't help but wonder the amount of people who like I said, who have followed the series.
There's probably a lot of
original
people.
characters, and I'm just like, no.
I feel, well, the thing is, I always felt like World Ends With You was kind of that DS game that, even though it's still a niche title, like kind of everyone at least knew of its existence, kind of thing.
I had a friend who was
nobody
really
played
into
it.
Square games, so I definitely knew about it. I wasn't too familiar, but I was like, oh, I recognize that name.
Such a good game.
I need to get around to playing that. Add that to the very
Good.
long list.
The only thing
I
is,
got-
I
I
kind
got-
of waited because they had to update the pin tables because there are 4 types of experience points originally. There's actual experience points you get for defeating enemies, and the
I got it.
with
You're
exactly
free.
1 second left.
I think in the review footage, I literally had 1 millisecond left in that stage.
Oh god.
I mean, that's the best way that could have actually ended.
But there were 4 types, and then there's 3 types of your pins, which you need to make your deck so you can do combat and stuff. There's battle points, which you get from battle. Your shutdown points, where yes, the game incentivizes you to not play all the time and put the game down for some days or for a day or two.
That sounds
And then
like
there was
something
mingle
Hideo
points.
Kojima would come up with.
Or you could just fast forward the clock 2 weeks on your PS2 with that.
Oh, I have a save file like right in front of the end. That dude is dead.
And then there's the end. He's dead.
He's dead.
Also, all my food is rotten. It's all terrible.
And then there were mingle points, which encourage people to, go out, hang out with people. And, that was supposed to be the case because, DS, everyone has
take
it and
advantage
stuff.
of the DS
And they
stuff.
tried to do it on the iOS and Android version, but it required really good Bluetooth, but not everybody had access to that, so they had to find another way to do it. So I was like, okay, you can get mingle points through practice runs, a 10-pin slammer. And then when the Switch version came out, he was like, oh yeah, okay, maybe the mingle idea is kind of stupid. We're just gonna get rid of that and just do battle and shutdown. So I'm just like, oh great, they're going to have to redo everything for these decks, and there's new pins. Fuck. I mean, on the bright side, that means I don't have to play 10-pin slammer. And hey, you got a skill point.
Yay.
Yay.
Oh, what was more impressive? Skill points in Spyro, skill points in Ratchet.
They were the exact same thing, so...
I know, but I mean, I feel like the idea of skill points in Ratchet and Clank just seems more interesting.
Well, Ratchet gave you at least a little bit of better rewards for it, so...
I've only ever played handheld versions of both of these series, so I have very little experience. That is why I talk about other things, because I have nothing of real value to offer.
Spyro's just kind of one of those platformers that's just kind of relaxing to play thing, so I just kind of encourage you to get about this.
Ratchet combines actually, since like there are moments of platforming where you can relax, and then they're just blowing shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And then there's Deadlock, which is purely blowing shit up.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the only Ratchet and Clank game I've played was Size Mattered, and I played a little bit of the Game Boy Advance Spyro game from forever ago because my friend had it and was like, I'll play this for a bit. And then he left, so I was like, okay, I've stopped playing that now.
I played a DS Spyro game. That is like the only Spyro game I've ever played in my life.
I think that was one of the, what's it called? I think that was one of the, like, Legend of Spyro ones.
Oh, it was early DS. It was Shadow something, or I can't remember it. I'm looking it up.
Yeah, that's
What was it?
I think the only time I've played the original
Shadow Legacy.
Crash
That's
games,
what it was.
Okay.
I think the only time I've
Actually,
ever...
I remember it because I felt like it was kind of like a poor man's Metroid Prime 2 in terms of and not in the first person sense. It was in the setup for it, because it's like you had to go through Light World and the Dark World and everything, but it felt like, because Prime 2 did the Light World Dark World thing at the time,
Yeah.
that felt like a poor man's Prime 2.
I think the only time I ever played Spyro 1 or any of the PS1 Spyro games was we were all at a buddy's house, and he was just sitting there playing Spyro 1 when we all got there. We just sat down and we started laughing at the cutscenes because the animations were just so weird to us.
Oh yeah, and in PS1 Spyro, they were very, very odd, and that's one of the biggest phrases I have for Reignited, because, oh my gosh, the animation is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Like, the people who, everybody who did the Insane Trilogy, who did the Reignited Trilogy, and everybody who's doing the CTR remake, they need freaking promotions, because oh my god,
I don't know
gorgeous.
about the promotions for Crash Bandicoot, considering the fuck is a hitbox
Well,
thing.
no, that's a hitbox development team. That's a hitbox team for that.
That's specifically a hitbox development team. Okay.
No, I just want a picture of a board beating of just them holding up an actual hitbox. What is this?
That sounds like a good Ray message.
Are we talking
Development
Hitbox
team.
the controller or the Hitbox that was basically what created? Tofu?
Yes.
Yeah, they just hold up Tofu Survivor from Resident Evil 4 and it's just like, what is this? It's like, that's a hitbox.
Oh no! You have to say it like Barry, the original RE1. What is this?
What is this?
What is this?
Hitbox development. That is the raid. Hashtag Hitbox development team.
Development team.
Vicarious visions. The fuck is
Fuck
it?
is a hitbox?
I'm getting my internship this summer. That's what I'm gonna sign up for. Hitbox development team.
Vicarious? Are you don't bad? Seriously, go for Sucker Punch. At least they have.
Oh no! I was joking. Honestly, I still don't know where I'm going for my internship. I might be in LA, I might be in Chicago, I might be in New York. I don't know where I'm going yet.
Man. Got my desktop.
Oh, that guy was right to the point.
I need to clean it.
Oh, that's one to thank you for releasing me, guys.
Yeah.
Saved our lives. We are eternally
We are eternally grateful.
Farewell, my friends.
Still like it in Toy Story 3 when they turned that light on its head.
The claw.
Ooh, watch yourself, it's the claw.
I still
You're scared of
remember
the claw.
the Toy Story game back from like Super Nintendo era, and they had a freaking Wolfenstein level for the claw machine.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
What?
Oh, wow.
It was you were first person moving around. Like you have to rush to get to the main chamber to try and save Buzz, and it's just you're just playing a Wolfenstein level.
I think Toy Story 1 game was before my time, but I definitely remember Toy Story 2.
I had Toy Story 2 on Game Boy Color.
Well, no, especially at like all the daycare centers and stuff like that. Toy Story 2 would always be installed on the PCs there. Always.
Yeah, we had Toy Story 1 and the demo for a Duck Dodgers game, which was basically just a persona for Donald Duck to do weird stuff.
I know what Duck Dodgers is.
Not Duck Dodgers. Shit, what the fuck was it called? It's something different. Duck Dodgers is the one is the Spaceman show. This is something different.
Yeah, they did a short for it. They made a whole series about it in the mid 2000s.
Yeah, I know.
Surprisingly
I played a bunch
pretty
of those
good.
Flash games. Yeah. Shit, what was it? It was Mallard something, because of course it's a duck pun. I'd have to look it up, but yeah.
No, because when I think Mallard and Alter Ego, the first thing I think is Darkwing Duck, and that ain't Daffy, not by a long shot.
Yeah, well, there's only so many duck names you can come up with, unfortunately.
I remember 2 Looney Tunes games I had as a kid. It was like, there was this Game Boy Color game called Twubble, where you had to control Sylvester through these puzzly type of areas. No, actually, I had 3 Looney Tunes games as a kid. Sides of areas to find Tweety because he kept flying off, and you had to hurry before Granny got home and everything. Discovered Tweety was gone.
Interesting that you play the antagonist in these games.
Yeah, and then I played the second Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle. We had that as well on the original Game Boy. And then the weirdest one, which honestly wasn't that bad of a racing game, was Looney Tunes Space Race on Dreamcast.
I played that a bunch with my neighbors because they had a Dreamcast and they had that game. I think their Dreamcast was my first experience with Sonic 2. And I mean Sonic Original Adventure, not Sonic.
I didn't experience a Dreamcast until I actually bought my own. No one in my area had a Dreamcast at all. They were all N64 or PlayStation.
We got a Dreamcast 1 month after it launched in the States. And my brother got it with Sonic Adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Then,
one neighbor was really into the Nintendo stuff, and the other neighbor was really into basically everything else. So I had a good mix of when I would actually go to their houses.
I was that
But
weird
I never
kid who
actually
just didn't
played
have a
that
PS1. We played stuff, and that's why I said the only Crash game I had any attachment to was Crash 3 because I played at his friends' houses. But we didn't own a PS1.
I think my first PlayStation console was a PlayStation 2. So.
Same year.
Well, I didn't own a PS1, but my Friends of our family had a PS1 at their place, and I played that a lot. Mainly, Crash Team Racing was probably the PlayStation 1 game I played the most during its heyday.
I was one of those weird kids on the N64 who didn't own Mario Kart 64, that I played it years later. I was like, oh, ew.
Yeah, it's not H12.
And then I count my blessings that I had Diddy Kong Racing.
You got some
I put way more time
better.
into Super Nintendo Mario Kart than any other one, actually, because that's the one I personally owned.
It was definitely a Double Dash that I think I played the most of. Though Mario Kart Wii is probably a close second.
A Double Dash and DS for me.
DS it was mine.
I think it was for me. I played a lot of DS until a while later, then I stopped. I think it was honestly because I was kind of getting annoyed with how much Mario Kart DS was getting universally like praised as the best DS title by far, and I was just like, I don't know about that. I think it was mainly, especially, I didn't like that the final reward for Mario Kart DS was basically you making every single character the exact same, because they got all the same carts at that point.
Oh yeah.
But I remember one specific DS thing I did that was funny in middle school. So, a friend of mine when we were still in middle school, we oftentimes just like loan games to each other, probably about once every couple of weeks. But I was going to an Episcopalian school at the time. Prayer room right outside of the main theater hall. Actually a really nice auditorium as well for it. But we just sat in there because it was really quiet. We were waiting on our bus and nobody would disturb us. So we just sit there, and one of the most hilarious like days was when I think I traded him. I traded him Pokemon Platinum, and he traded me Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow, and I was immediately noticing the irony of me getting Castlevania in a prayer room at a Christian school.
Nah, what you talking about? That's crazy. It's all fine.
What you talking about, Bliss? What you talking about? Oh man.
There's no better place to be introduced to Dracula than in a church, I guess.
To be fair, it's doubly ironic considering within Dawn of Sorrow, like I was just like, okay, so let me get this straight. Witches who were persecuted like hundreds of years ago, witches like people are persecuted for being witches. Present day, they actually like the church hires a witch to investigate Dracula. What?
Hey man, Dracula is a big problem. Also, you watched Hellsing Ultimate.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm just saying. I'm bringing up the eye. It doesn't stop me from bringing up the irony.
Big money.
But
Man, freaking Halpert Wesker is the voice of Yoshikage Kira and JoJo, and I can't handle Halpert casting it.
DC Douglas is a wonderful man.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite things is that I remember, I think I've told this story before, but hey, back when, I guess I'm guessing Achievement Hunter is still doing their Mystery Science Theater 3000 thing.
I have no idea. I've stopped watching Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, when they first started that show, they watched a movie where Douglas happened to play the villain. And he dressed up significantly like Albert Wesker, that Michael even pointed out. He's just like, who's this Albert Wesker motherfucker? And it's just like, that's Albert Wesker.
And he's like, what? I'm sure.
Yeah, he probably got that in the comment sections later, and he brought it up in a video, I assume, because that's how that works. But yeah, he really dresses for his roles. Now, that was probably before. That definitely was before Capcom would do a lot of their facial motion capture stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really happy.
To the extent that they're starting to do now.
Like, DC Douglas really likes the Resident Evil fan base.
Yeah.
He just rolls with the punches of the whole Wesker stuff.
Okay, and I have done the boss fight.
But mind you, he doesn't have much Wesker stuff to do anymore.
Yeah. Well, hey man, if we keep getting remakes.
Very true.
Like, we'll eventually get to more Wesker. But first, we
Resident
gotta...
Evil 5 remake, but he still leaves the Chris line intact. Exactly as he says in original.
That's when you get the dual audio version, in which you just have all the old cutscenes audio inserted into the new ones.
Yes. So whoever replaces DC Douglas, yeah, you can't replace DC Douglas for Wesker. He is Wesker.
No, you see, my favorite, I still think my favorite line in all of Resident Evil 5 is with Chris. Oh god, I think it's. Oh god, why am I blanking on her name? From the first
Java?
game. No, from the first game. That.
Jill?
Yeah, when Jill is just like Chris, like millions are gonna die, and like if you don't do this, we'll be the only 2 people alive kind of thing. Chris is like, yeah, but just I don't know why.
That sounds like some Sonic shit right there. And the worst part is their voice. At that point, they were voiced by the same.
Chris, stop thinking about your dick for 5 seconds.
Hey, my
man.
middle name. I thought your middle name was the.
Hey man, let's be honest. Resident Evil is a strangely sexless universe. No one ever hooks up. No one ever hits on each other. They just kind of exist with each other.
Well, I mean,
That's true.
well, I mean,
The closest you ever get.
Closest you ever get is Leon and
maybe
Ada.
Yeah, and they don't, and they're even like, oh, I like it when they don't actually like me. Like what? It's
It's
just-
their
it's the
kink.
end of cat and
It's their
mouse.
respective kink for some
Yeah,
reason.
because they're based off of movie stars, essentially. It's like, we're movie cliches. Oh no.
though to be fair, I think a zombie outbreak would kind of turn you, would not get you in the mood at all. Being real. I'd still hit it.
Give me a paper bag.
Is that the throw up in or the hyperventilated?
Yes.
I think I remember there was some rounds going around for Resident Evil 2 where in one of the in a jail cell there's a zombie who looks strangely attractive by a lot of people's perceptions. It's just like, why are we focusing on this?
Yeah, I still like the one clip I saw. I don't remember who posted on Twitter. He's just walking down the stairs slowly, and then just this zombie falls.
Yep.
Like, all the whole flight. They were just like, okay.
I think my favorite ones I'm seeing are like with Mr. X, where he literally
Of course.
just pops
Let's go
up
and give
on
it
top.
to you.
Let's go give it to you.
No, I think it was like on like Pharaoh's stream. Mr. X literally just popped off like right on him.
Oh yeah, when Mr. X jumped
I
off
love
the
that
stairs,
clip.
so he just freaking down aired you.
Mr. X is the next DLC fighter.
Oh god.
Dude, if people mod Mr. X onto Ganondorf, that'd be perfect.
Oh god.
That would be perfect.
Oh god, I think I retweeted something from Shadles earlier today of like one of the Valentine things for Gan, and yeah, okay, yeah, roses are nice, nights, violets are fairs. If you recover low, it's a free down air.
Did you guys see the Valentine's card that you sent me, Pat?
Yeah, I talked about it earlier, the Woody one.
Oh, I'm sorry, not today. Just don't. There's some people out there who are legitimately in relationships. I'm really not like that. I get it. It's funny. It's
No,
probably
I love the
true.
ones the Kingdom Hearts Twitter did for the different characters. Mainly, I love Larxene's and Xehanort's that they did.
What was it?
Which
Go to
Xehanort are we talking about?
yeah,
Yes.
go to the actual Twitter and you'll find them for.
Okay, Kingdom Hearts Twitter.
I think ironically my
I almost typed in
now
Twitter.
is where
I
the,
heard
You would,
that.
good job.
yeah, you would find things, all right.
I think the kind of the
Okay.
funniest thing
May
is
or
the
may
fact that
not
we
be
know-
Kingdom Hearts related.
Because of the mobile game, we know who Larxene was before she became a nobody,
Yeah.
and she has a significantly different personality. So I am more curious about how the shift happened, where she became kind of nothing interesting into the
The best.
bitch she is.
Just
Okay, I'm sorry, but Xehanort. Okay, no, it's old man Xehanort. I would not give anyone a Valentine with old man Xehanort.
Aw.
Old
Well, you don't-
man.
Hey man, you aren't into the veins?
This old body needs to be loved again.
Seriously though, the texture work on his bald head is
Yeah,
amazing.
like, why is that like some of the best texture work in the
Horrifying.
game?
I mean, I know
Like,
that's
it's
the
disgusting,
point.
but I love
I
it.
think that's the point, but
The moment you have the, well, Jojo, the moment you have the Disney/Pixar characters actually interacting in a meaningful way with the KH original stuff, it's already much more interesting than anything else they do.
Oh yeah, straight up.
Like, it doesn't need to be Woody owning people live on stream,
that
but
Gucci Gaming stuff is streaming. Is that Buffalo Wild Wings?
Oh yeah,
Weekly thingy.
yeah. If you could check for me, because Tyler's usually in bracket A. If you could check for me where he is right now in bracket,
Hang on.
he's probably like I doubt.
he's already won the whole thing.
Son of a bitch.
Yes, there's the bracket. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going or not tonight. He probably is.
I am going to look it up.
Because he usually makes money at these, so.
Wait, there's a money pot in this?
Oh yeah, there's always money
There
he
usually?
makes every week in these.
Okay, view bracket. I said view bracket. Hurry up and load, computer. I hate you.
Gotta say it 3 times.
HP laptops below, by the way. Like, to tell you
Yes,
that
they
much.
do.
Choice though, this is my work laptop. Fuck my life.
I'm on a Mac, so you know I'm just kind of stuck with what I got.
Custom built
does it.
PC. And then they only wear a laptop for rendering stuff.
Ty is currently. Oh my gosh, this is a confusing as fuck
Well,
bracket.
okay, hold on.
Winners-
Check if he's in top 32 first.
Oh yes, he is in top 32. Okay, he's in losers round 3 right now. He's in a match in losers round 3.
Okay, who did he lose to in winners?
It
God,
says
what?
he lost to Big Kenny
Oh,
2-0
Yeah, that makes sense.
1.
Big
you throw
Kenny.
above at him?
and he used Snake. That guy used
Yeah,
Snake.
Big Kenny is like one of the best snakes in say it's weird. He usually wins against Gateshead, but kind of weird that he lost it.
Hey man, maybe Kenny picked up his tricks.
Why isn't it opening? Oh, is that one of those things you have? Didn't you have to use like a firework or a rocket or something to?
Yeah, I think it's over here somewhere. You know, I keep forgetting that.
Question says, and this isn't a Reignited thing. This is just a general question. If this is supposed to be a hub, why are there enemies in it?
It's just a fake
A
Spyro.
lot of enemies in it. I mean, mind you, I could say the same thing about like Gruntilda's Lair and Isle of Hags, but there weren't that many enemies in it. It gave you room to
Well, then
explore.
again, Jack 2, there's guards everywhere.
But you don't have to run into them as long as you don't bug them. They will bug you. I mean, unless you take
But
Cruiser
yo,
Guard Cruiser, which
that's
case you're fucked.
Yeah,
Run.
I mean,
Well, considering how that city's laid out, you're almost always gonna.
yeah,
you wanna
that's
move
kind of one of
fast,
my problems
which
with
means you're
Jack 2.
usually
It
gonna
always
run someone
feels like
over.
you're gonna run into someone.
Here's how I usually play Jack 2. Whenever I just want to go from point A to point B, mission to mission, just kind of relax, go high hover zone, go with the traffic.
Go GTA.
It's a gun? Okay! And I get go trigger happy.
I still remember, like, from way back in the day, the first time I played Jack 2, and I was, like, Skype sharing the video feed over to Alexandra. And there's,
wow.
like, a bit of a delay, and she keeps I did not understand the whole thing of, like, low and high hover zone yet. And she just kept yelling at me, high hover zone!
I totally did, because I was like, you don't want to get this early in the game, because if you're very early, you didn't have the blaster yet, which is pretty much the first weapon you could use to actually reasonably push back any KG vehicles.
Yeah. What was my first experience with Jack 2? I think my brother was borrowing it from a friend, and he got right to the start of when you meet crew.
Oh.
My first experience with Jack 2
Man, that
was when
escort
my brother...
mission was such a rough start.
Oh.
My first experience with Jack 2 was when my brother, I was watching the scene when you had to get before you had to go to the money bag, the time money bag mission.
Yeah, I
And
remember that
Daster
one.
got drunk. That was my first exposure to Jack 2.
I remember.
And I mean, this was at the time when I still wasn't interested in Jack 2. It took until my brother was hogging my GameCube playing Metroid Prime to play it 100% that I was getting bored out of my mind, and I just played Jak 2 on a whim.
I think we just had Jak 2 in the house, and it's like, I hadn't beat this game yet on our PlayStation 2. I guess I'll play it. And it's just like, holy shit, this game's way too hard.
Oh yeah, the game's...
That makes me wonder,
know.
like, if they were if Jak and Daxter were to get the remake treatment, like, do you think they would tone down 2 at all?
They need to tone down the difficult. Like, the
could
two biggest things they need to do is not pepper so many. I mean, I understand Crimson Guard are out there for a reason, but don't pepper so many of them out there. A, and B, don't be stitching about checkpoints and platforming missions. That is like my biggest gripe with the game.
Wait, did you mention specifically the turret section?
Oh yeah, and also checkpoint and with shooting missions. If you have a certain objective, like destroy a certain number of blah 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 or save a certain number of blah blah blah. After you save one, that should be a checkpoint. I'm sorry. Like, the only one I would make exception to was that money bag mission, but that's because it was timed.
Yeah, I think even right now, back on my PlayStation 3, I still have a file of New Game Plus, or should I say Hero Mode Jak 2. I just can't get past the stupid turret mission where we have to destroy like the oil tanker. It's just like, it's always that one. It's always that one that stops me up, and I can't stand it. I hate it so much.
Oh, I can't even get through hero mode. The game's already hard enough on normal.
I somehow did it back on the PlayStation 2, and I still don't know how. Because I know I have the file of with all the art from the game.
Yeah, you know, like I guess I'll bring it up now. Of just like, well, I said it in the Discord. Sir, where's all that noise coming from? Look at this.
What are you doing?
What?
Yeah, it's just like there's a lot. There's a lot
of noise.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm rearranging chords. I probably shouldn't.
Hey, look, it's the Green Goblin.
But,
anyway, go on, Pat.
Yeah, I have decided that because the Kirby Marathon has been going on for like long enough, once that is finally done, then I'm finally doing Jak and Daxter right after, and I'll tell you straight up.
Good couple years wait.
Fuck yeah.
1,000 years. No.
But
Get AZ, and he's just holding a power cell saying it's been 3,000 years.
Man, I'd rather be waiting for a power cell than the shit in Jak 2.
But yeah, like, Jak 2's difficulty, oh yeah, you know that's gonna be on the bad section.
Why is New Game Plus so hard in that game? Why?
Why is the game so hard in general?
Why do you torment me so?
Like, it's so bad that Naughty Dog, and I don't remember what company's player's guide had this for Jak 3. It may have been official PlayStation Magazine's player's guide for this.
Apology for it?
But they had an official apology for players for making Jak 2 so hard.
Like, the thing I always remember is that in the precursor reveal scene in Jak 3, in the director's commentary of that, they talk about like how there were some alludes to in Jak 2 near the end of the game kind of thing, and then they say
got to see it.
And then they say, by the way, if you actually managed to beat Jak 2, congratulations. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Wait, time out.
Sorry.
They said that. How does the ending scene of Jak 2 allude to that bit? Like, you know, that part of the reveal. Like,
well, I think they more talked about some of the architecture and stuff like that from the end of Jak 2, like, in a way, kind of.
I never listened to the full commentary, so I might want to.
The only thing I remember about that specific scene was the fact that they said when the animator saw like the scripting for it, he immediately wanted to animate it.
Yeah. I think the other thing I remember a lot from the director commentary that I loved is that they, for whatever reason, had one of the just like gameplay scenes where like Jak lifts up a lever, and that's like the entire scene kind of thing. And the director commentary was just like, this cutscene shows a lot of character and story world development for Jak. What am I saying? And then it just ends.
To be fair, I think one of my favorite like 2-second cutscenes was right before Daxter had to ride that missile. It's just if you just pause at the last split second, you could just see Jak saying, "Oh no. David is just
Because he's
oh,
literally just
no.
walking off and Daxter's like, I got this, boom. Okay. I don't remember my original reaction, but I always laugh whenever I
Oh, now we can't go back the way we came. Let's go check this place out. Right behind you, pal!
far behind you.
Alright.
You know, I also miss soft underpants.
Soft underpants.
You know how
The
It
creative.
was really interesting for me because I started with Jack 2, so I did not know that Daxter used to be a person. So I was just like, what's he complaining about all the time?
Yeah, it's like, oh, where would you be without me, Daxter? I probably want to be short, hairy, it's like hairy, having itch in weird places, and still have pants.
God, I miss pants.
Well, I probably wouldn't be 2 foot tall, fuzzy, and running around the sewers without a pair of pants. God, I miss
pants.
Damn it! Now I have to play these games.
Do so. They're good. You can get the PS4.
You know, I think something. I know they said they got on Jack about being massively broody in the second game, but I think he had some of his funniest lines in the series.
Oh,
It's mostly
absolutely.
him working off of Daxter.
Oh yeah.
No, his is more like his working off of Daxter Jack 3 was more like visual humor
Yeah.
to me than it was actually
So
speaking.
there's that one really out of character line from Jack in like the model viewer of Jack 3.
I think I might remember, but you remind me.
Oh, it was,
It's like a Daxter gets all the laces and I bring them home.
yes, that's the one.
It's like, we let the voice actors just kind of say nonsense, and we somewhat regret it.
I mean, the best part is that was alluding back to the old commercials for the first game.
So I think
A precursor orb in between his horns.
yeah, it kind of does look like a
Oh my
precursor.
God, it kind of does.
It's probably just because we're talking about Jack, but
Oh, you can't replay the dragon. Wait, hold on. Can I replay the dragon? Okay, I'm gonna get a better look at this orb.
And then, of course, the best 3 lines Jack utters in the whole series. Thunk on the ground. God. Just... So question, when that reveal happened, what was your reaction to
we paused the game and laughed for a good 5 minutes.
That is still one of
that
my.
was me, basically.
That was
Me and my brother were on the
still-
ground.
That still goes down. I do not dare spoil what happens in that scene because, like, that is
That's
still.
the one scene I will never, ever,
That is
ever,
still,
ever,
honest to God, one of the best reveals in any video game I've ever played. Straight up.
I know Will had that in one of his countdowns, but I think he had like heavy spoiler warning, just like, no, seriously, you don't want to get this spoiled.
Like,
if you
this
don't
is
know
way
it.
Like,
too
this is
good.
the one scene in the game you don't want. I know spoiler tags are off for that series. They've been off for years.
But, like, that's the one.
That's the one scene you don't spoil.
Like, I will not, like, dare talk about that in my review. Just like, this scene is way too good. You have to experience this for yourself.
You just have a JPEG of a screenshot of the reaction, but not what they're seeing.
Oh
like,
my
when you get-
God.
It's just Jack, just the oh my god part. Yeah, that's all you show.
Yeah,
Is the
really.
thunk and the oh my god.
It's all perfect, and then it becomes pure platinum the moment he says that.
Yeah, it's just absolutely because he breaks of all people, he's the one who breaks the silence, and that's the joke.
Oh,
Because
God.
you think Daxter would have been the one to say something,
So
but it was
much,
him.
because you got Daxter who's not saying anything, which is already big. You have Vegan.
Eager, who shouldn't be sounding pissed, but
He just
Jack
drops
is the
his
one who
stupid
says
picture that he's
something.
held the entire game, and then Jack's just like, oh my god.
And I think the better part is the good visual humor is that Vega looks to Jack just to confirm, are you seeing this?
I'm
not
not high
imagining this,
right
am I?
now, right?
I didn't take a whiff of the precursor energy and just go like, whoa.
It's like,
I guess I should...
I am tripping some eco, boys. So what is the eco equivalent of weed?
well, considering the green sage,
Oh, yeah, fair point.
like he had to get really chill before he got powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
You look like a
I
miserable
think the
rat.
only thing, if they ever remake Jack and Daxter, I want the original cast back for
Yeah,
it.
I
get
feel
as
like
much
they
as you can.
would. I feel like they would bring them back, because especially the VA that they had for like PlayStation All Stars and stuff like that just doesn't work for
Okay,
Jack.
like, okay, I know who the VA is, and I can't speak ill of him because it's Josh Keaton and he voices Shiro. Here's the thing, his voice makes for a good Shiro, it doesn't make for a good Jack.
Yeah.
I mean,
wait,
hell,
Shiro
freaking,
from what?
Huh?
Shiro from what? 'Cause the name sounds familiar, but I don't.
Voltron.
Oh, okay, got ya.
I figured that's what you were talking
I
about.
was just like, okay, what?
Well, it's like a similar thing of like freaking Kenny voicing Rabbit and Winnie the Pooh for Kingdom Hearts 3. It's just like,
Yeah, that was weird.
you're a good voice actor, but I can't. No. Team 4-Star was all on board. I'm just like, I can't agree because this is just so weird for me.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty much, I'm like, despite everyone's like consensus about the whole game, like thoughts on the whole game, I'm glad mostly everyone's in agreement that Xehanort's voice casting wasn't.
I'm back.
So yeah, you missed our long running talk about the reveal, the funny reveal in Jack.
don't say what it is. We're keeping that like.
Keep that
That's like a
wraps.
gentleman's rule. You never spoil that. That is the one scene you never spoil.
See, I have no idea what you're talking about. I
Okay.
played-
Okay, good.
He hasn't played it. That's good.
No,
Hey,
I
Jason,
played Jack
you
3.
played Jack- Hey,
Okay.
You don't remember?
No, because I stopped caring about the story after Jack 1.
I mean, that's
Oh,
fair.
oh
The game with no
God.
story.
Hold on, Jason. I'm sending
Game
you
with no
this.
story.
You need to see this.
Oh, God.
Don't-
I'm
don't-
looking it up now.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
God.
The Jack and Daxter series has always been like Kingdom Hearts. I love playing the game, don't care about the story.
Honestly, I'm kind of different because I feel like Jack and Daxter's story is actually pretty well done. Mainly 2, I feel like.
I started with 2, so at least the story has a good grip on me. Especially because I couldn't play much because it was so damn hard.
I
Yeah.
started from the very beginning.
I did too.
Yeah, I had to go back to. I played 2, then 3, and then I went
I
back
played
to
the
1
series
because I had
in
a friend
order.
who had it.
Okay, yeah, wait, I'm only linking this in our chat. Jason, you go watch this right the fuck now, and you say nothing about what happens in it.
I'm somewhat concerned that you're overhyping this. I know it's amazing, but
Because it's funny!
yeah, no, it's amazing. But the problem is that even that can get overhyped and be ruined.
Yeah, I try to figure out how do I get it up to these platforms again. I remember.
I don't know, I've never played Spyro.
Oh! Okay. I don't need to watch it, I know what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, now he knows what it is.
Pat, it's
I
simple.
watched
You
the
need
first
to
3
double
seconds,
jump.
I was like, that.
That one. The one that
I think
no,
that was-
like,
I think when we got
even
the
though
movie
spoiler
view-
tags are off for that game,
Yeah,
that's the one.
it's the one where Jack gets shot, he turns into a zombie.
Yeah. It was a really shocking moment.
Also, that sheep is perpetually jumping in place.
He
Yeah,
turns
well,
into a
that's
jumpy
true.
zombie, he goes,
On a similar topic, reveal trailer for the Catherine remaster and remake.
Yeah. Well, finally, it's coming statewide. You know, at last.
They probably, oh gosh, what if like next month they had the Smash Direct, showed off Joker, it's like, by the way, we had a Persona 5 remake, like enhanced Persona 5 trailer, back to Smash Brothers, nothing to see here folks, and I'm like, fuck you guys, come on, show me more.
So, I got my haircut done, which means now, tomorrow, I can spend the next 5 hours of a shift as Mr. Monopoly. And it's gonna, I'm gonna have fun. Yeah.
Whatever floats your boat, man.
No, no,
in other
no,
news, I got
no,
eighth in
please do
Tetris
this.
99 earlier today.
Nice.
No, Tetris, Alexandra, Tetris Battle Royale, get it right.
You mean Tetris Unknown Battlegrounds?
That's really good. I haven't heard that yet, but that's good.
Tetris Unknown Battle.
I'm surprised no one's made that joke!
Because
Because
PUBG
everyone
is dead.
forgot
Tetris
PUBG
Battle Royale.
existed.
Because PUBG is dead.
This is
PUBG
called the Tetris Battle Royale.
reignited
Let's get
interest in
creative with
Battle
this
Royale.
shit.
PUBG reignited interest in Battle Royale, and then they got kicked off the hill immediately.
Pretty much. That's pretty much what happened.
Yeah, it'll die out within a few years.
mean, PUBG's basically dead, but yeah, Battle Royale in general will
is
definitely chill
dead.
out in a while.
And then now I'm questioning if Apex, like, Apex happened. Nope, here's Tetris, and Apex is like, fuck.
Well, no, it's especially because when Apex happened, I know that Epic Games was just like giving away like so many dollars worth of free stuff. Like, please, please, please don't leave.
Did you guys see that they're doing like that 13 challenge thing so that you can get Season 8 for free for Fortnite?
I don't Fortnite. I own the only Battle Royale I will probably ever play. It's Tetris
I think
99.
the only Fortnite gameplay I ever saw was
No,
Pat.
I think
I
my
don't Fortnite, I Frostbite.
which is next
Ah,
weekend.
that's in a couple of weeks,
Yeah,
Pat.
it's next weekend. But
Good luck.
yeah, but I think my favorite comment I saw from the direct today was Link's Awakening remake, but after you get onto the island, you also notice that there's 99 also secret sleeping links. Only one link survives.
Battle Royale between all the versions of Link.
Oh,
We've had
I'm pretty sure
10
there's an actual
after
video out
years.
there somewhere, but who is the strongest Link between all the Zelda games?
that's a good question.
Well,
mean-
it depends,
I
honestly.
mean, Breath of the Wild is the most physically capable in just everyday
Well, no, I'd
things,
say
but that
Twilight
doesn't mean
Princess
much.
is also one of the more physical links as well.
Yeah,
also one of the more
Twilight
dumber
Princess and
Links.
Twilight Princess and Breath of the Wild come pretty close.
If we're coming on like their base kits and not looking at like a lot of their gear, then I don't know.
I have no idea. I could not.
Because if we're looking at
imagine it.
gear, then that's just a whole other mess.
Well, I mean, guys, you know who's truly the strongest Link? The hero of train.
Just run them over.
Choo
with the-
choo, motherfucker.
Choo choo.
No, guys, the hero of
Everyone is the
Pennsylvania.
I like trains kid.
I like trains.
Now, if that's the question, who's the strongest Ganon? Who's the strongest Ganon?
Probably Ocarina.
Like-
Yeah, probably Ocarina of Time.
I'm
Which
not
would
too familiar
subsequently
with all
also
the
mean Wind
versions,
Waker
so-
as well, because that's the same Ganon.
True. But in Wind Waker, admittedly, he doesn't really get to do much.
What about,
Stands there menacingly for quite a bit of the game.
but what about the Ganon in Breath of the Wild, where he literally
What
wipes
Ganon?
out it? Listen, listen.
Oh, it's Calamity Ganon!
Listen, according to the lore, he wiped out like entire armies.
Yeah, he succeeded very well. You just don't get to really experience that.
That's even more terrifying if you think about it.
Yeah.
You see a case where Ganon did succeed. You
It's
can't
kind of similar with
really-
like Dark Souls, where like realistically the final boss should be impossible to beat, but because you came to fight him so long after he basically given up all his power, you don't get to really see what he was like at his best.
And that's also just the problem with Breath of the Wild, where the last phase of Ganon is just so pathetically easy.
I think that's the point, though.
But,
That's
like,
what happens when you try to go cinematic.
yeah. That's the problem, because I really like the first phase of the fight.
I never beat
I mean,
Breath
to
of the
be
Wild,
fair,
but it's a
though,
game that I
if
really
you just
enjoy
rush
playing.
in, if you just rush and go in 3 hearts, he's still going to be a nightmare to take down.
Well, no, with
Yeah,
the
that's-
And
yeah,
that's the point.
but with the final phase
I mean,
of the
that's
fight, that
like
doesn't even
saying the
matter.
final bosses in Kingdom
But
Hearts
the question
3 are
is,
tougher
with the
because you
final
did a level
phase, does
1
it have
game.
that stipulation of what happens when you just go in without any
Okay,
prior
I need to figure out
preparation?
how do I get to this one in particular.
We
gotta
go
double
in,
jump,
we
silly.
go
You gotta
in,
jump.
You get a job.
You gotta spit high
Yob.
five.
Yob.
Literally the last thing I gotta do in this level.
You know, I was just thinking, I know we made the joke of the fact that like Toon Link has train, so that's a powerful weapon, but we know Breath of the Wild has just arrows that just evaporate things into nothingness.
Yeah.
No. Actually, that would make Breath of the Wild Link the
including
strongest link,
automatons.
wouldn't it?
Like, I guarantee you, like, I think Breath of the Wild Link is probably one of the more strong links, but
Yeah.
you take away his Sheikah Slate and his paraglider, he ain't worth a dick.
I think he'd be fine without the paraglider, but definitely without the Sheikah Slate, because that's most of his kit right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he has a lot of good arrow options, but even then, like, it's mostly ancient arrows.
But we
until you
can't
run
take
out.
away Sheikah Slate. How else would he be able to pull off Chaos Control?
That's the point.
That's the
Actually,
point.
now that I think about it, with it, he actually is the most busted Link.
Yeah, he
Holy
has
crap.
time powers.
He's a Time Lord. Holy shit.
He has time powers that the Ocarina Link's wish they had.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
And he debatably has the most powerful Master Sword. Debatably.
You mean the most disappointing weapon in the game?
Yeah, pretty much.
The most what weapon in the game?
Disappointing.
Yeah. Hey, getting it was pretty awesome. But then you were like, oh, that's all.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay.
Until,
That's what
until,
makes-
until people complained enough that they had to make a DLC to make sure it just sucked less.
That's what made me stop playing Breath of the Wild, because I was just like, I'm going around doing all the other things, and I just feel like, you know what? It's time. Let's go get that Master Sword. I'm like, oh yeah, I got the Master Sword. Surely if it's on top tier, it's probably still one of the best weapons in the game. What?
Well, no, it's still honestly not even that bad.
It's the best long-term weapon just because it never fully breaks, but that's
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
happens when
but
you work
unless
with a
unless
system
you
in which
finish the
weapons
Master
break.
Trials, you have to freaking go on recharge mode for it. It's
I just qualified it under that feeling of you get past this challenge expecting amazing treasure, and it's a 1 out of 5 treasure. And I think, oh, all right, well the adventure's
fuck this.
Yeah, the adventure's gone. Well, the adventure's gone. All right. Hyrule is forever ruined. Bye guys, have fun with Calamity Ganon. Sorry Zelda that I failed.
And
Sorry.
thus, Link cost himself from the highest
Yes,
mountain.
that's it.
And thus the hero Link bravely ran away.
I mean, I did. I was like,
Screw this, I'm going to Mario Kart.
Great, and thus
Yeah,
he ran
basically.
away. Just mix all the Nier Automata non-endings.
Okay, yeah. I was about to say, like, did they have Breath of the Wild Link in the Mario Kart? I was like, wait, yes, they did.
So I did Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yeah, baby.
the game that I still wish they released more DLC for.
I really hope they do more DLC for Mario
I'd
Kart.
love for them to do more DLC.
Because they have one of the best DLCs of any game for a long time, I felt.
Oh yeah, I agree 100%.
Game we were talking about, I kind of blanked.
Mario
Mario
Kart
Kart
8.
Okay, yeah, okay,
Mario Kart 10.
gotcha.
Smash Kart.
What year is it?
What year is it?
10.9 and a half.
That does remind me. I've been watching this show called Love Is Hard for an Otaku, and in the second episode where we see the guy's home, we found out that he still has a Wii, just for Mario Kart 7. It's like that moment.
Wii? Wait, hold on. A Wii for Mario Kart 7?
Yeah, I was about to stop.
My bad,
you
Mario
yourself.
Kart Wii.
I was about
I'm
to
done
say.
with that. I'm done with this, but I still really judge that moment when you have a Switch, a Switch, and a PS4, but you still have the Wii for Mario Kart.
Hey man, it's not too much different than having GameCubes for freaking Melee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soul Calibur
Even
2,
when-
baby!
He even went out of his way to find a pink controller for his girlfriend to use because she wanted one.
That's precious.
Okay, I gotta figure out how do I get to that one ledge, because that's literally the last thing I gotta do in this level.
You wanna know one thing that I haven't yet talked about in the stream at all?
But
Actually, what you're playing, Patrick. I have yet to pick up the trilogy, but every time it's one of those things where every time I look at Spyro, I just go, I'm gonna get that, and then when I start looking at
Actually-
Spyro, it immediately leaves my mind. Even though every single time it's like, this looks fun. I like platformers. I want to be the purple dragon, going around, flying around, getting all the jewels, getting all the jewels. I'll do that at some point.
I was about to say something, Jason. Probably wouldn't
I want to fly around, getting all the juice.
Yeah.
I collected 400 juice. Alas, I have saved.
Oh god, 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 oh god.
Let's just do a 180 right now.
Oh no. Oh, that was so good.
What?
Of course, the current remake that I'm the most excited for.
I got 5th.
I'm still really excited for the Crash Team Racing remake.
So you still haven't made the jump?
I'm trying to make this jump, but it's like...
But you're supposed to make the jump a different way.
What'd you say, Jason?
I'm still excited for the Crash Team Racing remake.
Yeah.
Like I said, moment of
like,
silence for Team Sonic Racing.
Gonna be honest, heard about the Crash remakes. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. I'm like, Crash, I picked this up. Heard about CTR. Oh my god, that's a jam. Give it to me now. I want it.
Can somebody look up Can somebody find me a gem guide and just quickly find out how I'm supposed to get up there? Because I can't see any other point in the level where I can get up to there.
Well, you see, Patrick, you have to import the save from the sequel game that gives you the double jump.
See, Patrick, see, Patrick, we don't understand the fact that you had to wave dash. And by wave dash, you could just fly your way through the stage and get the secret gem.
You gotta run backwards, and with your new jump power.
You have to hold your Game Boy upside down on a rainy Tuesday.
And then level
Don't
up to level
fucking joke
30.
about holding a system upside down because that's fucking EK shit. I still hate that to this day.
You know what? Okay, Patrick.
I think it's amazing. It just sucks that there's no real implications in the game for you.
All right, Patrick. I'm gonna help you. It says here to press Alt 4.
Alt F4, Jason, get it right.
No.
I think, I
I'm a sinking ship.
You guys talking about holding the DS upside, holding the Game Boy upside down, that kind of thing. I still remember the moment that I think pissed me off more than any other DS game was in Phantom Hourglass, where there was this one part after finishing a Temple of the Ocean King that you had to get this thing onto your map. And what you're supposed to do is put the TS into sleep mode in order for it to stamp it. And I thought...
See, I'm glad they did. I don't remember this.
Oh, it was so bullshit.
I think I remember a friend showing me that.
I tried for months to get that down, and then I had to put the game into sleep mode, and then tried it out, and then I hit my head so hard on the death counter. It's just
I never really saw that, but then again, it's really hard to see a phantom.
Jason, the door is to your left.
You guys know, Jason, you can look up
Alexandra, I'm at my front door. It is to my left. Goodbye, friends.
A successor will come. Well, friends.
Okay, seriously.
Video, did I, Jason?
I was standing by my front door when you said the door's to your left. It's like, oh, what do you know? I guess I have to leave now.
And through plot convenience.
Goodbye, French. Wee.
So you looking it up, Pat?
I'm looking it up at this point.
The power of the internet.
Oh, Paul,
The only real reason I got 100% in Kingdom Hearts 3 because fuck some of those larger levels.
Okay, I have a question
I love
here.
to travel around pirates, but man, did I not want to do cleanup work there.
Oh yeah, when I saw how big the place was and I saw how many treasures, they were like, oh, I immediately said, oh no.
Oh no.
Okay, so I haven't touched Kingdom Hearts 3 a little bit. I can tell you for one reason why. I have 55 out of 56 treasures in pirates.
Oh
no.
Well, I know there are some guys that tell you that list things in order by number, but if you're not going to use that, then Godspeed to you.
Give that to me, please.
I guess it wasn't use it.
Do I even have it saved anymore?
I need it.
Because level 1 run, I don't bother with. I just get the bare minimums and just move on to the next challenge.
I don't feel like going all throughout pirates just to get to my treasure. Just give me the guy.
Oh, here it is. Okay.
56 out of 56.
Sending you a link on DM.
Thank you. I like pirates.
He just cries about it. I like
pirates.
Some people are torn about that world. Some like it so dope. I'm on the side that
you.
I like
fuck all of you. I that I love you.
I like pirates. I like the swimming. I like the swimming. I like the boat combat. I like going around to the different islands because there are actual different islands. I like actually exploring in the. I like actually exploring in the ocean. It's fun. I like pirates. For 55 out of 50 tickets, treasure chest.
I liked it in my level 1 run up until the point I got one-shotted by those sand serpents.
Ooh. Yeah.
Also, I heard that you can actually get the Black Pearl in Pirates.
Yes.
You can?
I haven't found it yet.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Keep
that.
finding those crabs, they'll lead you.
Crab people. Crab.
People.
Crab people.
Crab
Crab
people.
people. Crab people.
Cue the crab dancing meme.
Oh, please, no.
No,
I
my
don't
favorite,
like that
my
meme.
favorite one of that recently was
I
the
think I know
3DS
exactly
is
what you're gonna
dead.
say.
The
Yeah.
3DS
I have a bad
is
feeling
dead.
about this.
I know you a little too well nowadays, Pat. At least when it comes to your Twitter feed. I see your retweets, I know what you're gonna
I don't know
share.
what that says about you, Pat.
It just means that his likes are very specific.
Okay, where the fuck is... Where are the actual fucking the video is this? I didn't
Where
get
are the levels? They said there would be levels. This
I
is a
just, like-
horrible vacation.
I just glanced to the sidebar for like recommended channels, and there are so many people playing Tetris. Not that I can blame them.
I'm surprised Twitch hasn't added Tetris 99 as, you know, the game yet.
Yeah, since it's only you can only list it as Tetris.
Where the
Let's give it time. They will.
Okay, how does this guy get to this point?
Magic.
Oh.
Oh,
Ha! Oh ho! Hee. What the fuck? Keep
That was-
throwing me!
I cannot make the distance. You have to toss me.
I haven't seen any of those movies.
It took me forever to finally sit down and watch them. I still need to read the books, though. 'Cause I'm actually more curious about those now.
Patrick, I have a question.
I'm getting better.
Patrick.
Somehow.
Patrick, I have a question for you.
What?
Have you seen Lythero's latest Mario Kart video?
By Odin's beard?
That's for context.
By Odin's band?
in Lythera's Mario Kart video, there was a guy that just comes into the Discord call, says by Odin's beard, does a lightning, and then leaves.
By Odin's band? Yeah. Oh no.
That's so good.
Calculated.
By the gods.
By Odin's beard, you will not cut my hair. Please, kind sir, please don't cut my hair.
By Odin's band?
So good.
Jojo?
It's so good!
By Odin's beard.
I really need to do that the next time I ever find myself playing Mario Kart.
I'm probably gonna make Mario Kart a sub night pretty soon.
I've been asking you to do that for a while.
I think, you know what,
I got the dig of a Mario
like,
Kart.
yeah, we were
Damn it, Pat.
talking between like Splatoon
Did you
and
do
Mario
it?
Kart.
Did you finally fucking do it? Also, you missed
Did
the
it, he
chance.
killed the
Yeah, I
enemy
gotta
and
go
just
back, but at
ran
least I
right
know
off.
how to get to it.
Told you there was another way. I knew it.
Well, it's
Called
hiding
it.
behind. It's hiding behind a rock. Is the problem? Like you have to go around it onto a potential bottomless pit.
You see that rock? That's a special rock. It hides secrets.
But yeah, I'm thinking for.
I like that boulder. That is a nice,
Nice
boulder.
boulder.
I suppose
Out
you
of
are.
here.
That boulder wasn't very nice though.
I like my privacy.
But yeah, I'm thinking for the next sub night after tomorrow, that we do Mario Kart, and then maybe the one after that Splatoon, maybe, possibly.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes, queen. Yes.
You guys remember that one time?
bitches.
You guys remember that one time Xehanort
At
turned into
Bandcamp?
a cloak?
What?
What?
You guys remember that one time Xehanort turned into a boat.
Did I put something here?
I'm trying desperately to see if I can actually piece some nonsense out of this. I'm trying to piece something out of this, but I can't. I don't think I'm strong
I'm
enough
definitely
for
missing something here.
Okay, Jason.
Jason, you better have a link.
Do you guys? Okay, first of all, you guys are familiar with Game Grumps, right? Just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember a person by the name of Barry who used to be on Game Grump, but they went out to do his own
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Barry.
He uploaded a video. We uploaded a video which is of him explaining Kingdom Hearts. And when he got to Kingdom Hearts 1, when you're talking about the boss battle, he said that Xehanort turned into a boat.
Oh, he's not wrong.
That final
Listen, he
boss
even
is
drew
very ship-like.
Listen, he even drew a picture. It's in the chat.
The Faith Dong ship is pretty obvious.
Oh, that video was by Barry. Okay.
The thing is, he says Xehanort turned into a bow, Xemnas turns into a bow, and when he got the drink on distance, he said, and this is serious because nobody's turning into a boat.
And he's not wrong?
I gotta link that video so you guys can watch it. Cause he also,
It's been on my it's been on my feed for a good while now.
it's a good video. It's a good
I think the only screenshot I saw, barring this one that you just shared with us, is when Gaijin Goomba shared the video, showed it's just the screenshot of Kyrie going into Sora and compared that to yes, Mystery Man. The JoJo. Yes, Kingdom Hearts is stupid, and that's why we love it.
And hate it at the same time.
It's a love-hate
Having a
relationship.
good time there.
Oh, so also, I also need to introduce you to these guys. They behold, Goblin and Goblin and Torvald.
Can I ask?
Did you get hit in the head by a rock again?
From the
Oh
same
no.
video.
Oh no.
And on that note, I think we're gonna end tonight. So,
That is
Patrick, you need to
now.
at least show them the picture.
Game over.
and on that note, for YouTube wise, we're done. Take care, YouTube land.